Welcome, everyone. We're going to get this started. I'm going to call this meeting to order at 7:01 on June 23rd. So would you would you follow me in the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. May I have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Bruins.
Present.
Councilmember Daniels.
Here.
Councilmember Miller.
Here.
Vice Mayor Schaefer.
Here.
And Mayor Middleton.
Here.
Okay. So I may have the next item, please?
So the next item is a video statement. This meeting of the Citrus Heights City Council is cablecast live on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel, on the Comcast Consolidated Communications and AT&T Universe cable systems. This meeting is closed captioned and live streamed at citrusheights.net. Tonight's meeting replays on Monday, June 27th at 9 a.m. on Channel 14. This meeting can also be viewed on the city's YouTube channel.
Thank you. So the next item, please.
Next item is approval of agenda.
I'll move approval.
Okay,
Second.
I have Councilmember Daniels and Councilmember Bruins for the first and second. We have all in favor? Oh, we got to do a roll
Aye.
call on that
We
one?
do. We need to do a roll call vote.
We got to do a roll call vote on that, please.
Councilmember Bruins.
Aye.
Councilmember Daniels.
Aye.
Councilmember Miller.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schaefer.
Yes.
And Mayor Middleton.
Aye.
Next item, please.
Next item is comments by council members and regional board updates.
Thank you. Councilmember Bruins, can we start with you?
Thank you. The first thing I'd like to share is that we had a great Chamber of Commerce lunch last week, and I attended along with several other people from the council and staff. Lieutenant Chad Morris did a great presentation on our drone offerings that we have at the police department, and it was enjoyed by all. And then last week, I attended the Finance Committee meeting, and more, the results of that will be discussed tonight as well. It was a good meeting, and so happy to report out on that this evening. And then there was our employee appreciation event, which is the first one we've done in a couple of years because of of COVID. And it was really a lot of fun. I want to thank staff that was involved in putting it together. It was lively. It was just, we were able to celebrate a lot of anniversaries, people that have been with us 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years. So that was a lot of fun as well. And then on Friday, I met with Robin Stout of the American River Collegiate Academy, which is our charter school that started a couple of years ago to serve Citrus Heights, and with Julie Habib, the executive director of the Sayonara Children and Youth Center. And the purpose of it was basically to put the two of them together because one of them has, Julie has programs for students that are up and coming and into the age group that the school is offering for classes. And they are going through third grade this year. I believe Robin said that their enrollment is complete through second grade. They're full and they have a few spaces left for third grade. So just wanted to announce that. And then up and coming next week, I am partnering with City Manager Ash Feeney and the directors of the various departments of the city to host a candidate education night here in the council chambers at 6 p.m. So if you know anyone who wants to run for city council or who's thinking about running for city council or is just curious about what it's all about, I invite you to attend. It'll be about an hour, and I'll be speaking on the perspective of someone who served for 20 years, and then the department heads will and City Manager Feeney will be giving presentations about what what it looks like to run a city. So I encourage anyone who's interested to show up for that, and that's just an education night. It's not anything other than just education. Thank you. That's all I have.
Great. Councilmember Daniels, what have you been up to?
No regional board updates, just a couple of things. The cooling center continues to be open, I believe through today and tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. So if you know somebody who needs to cool it, go ahead and send them over there to the community center, and it's inside the senior center. Important if somebody does need that, actually. And here comes July 4th, and just want to say to people, have a great time, get together. Enjoy your family, enjoy your time, but keep it sane. Remember, there are other people in the world, not just you, and have a good time, but don't ruin somebody else's good time. And then the final thing I wanted to say was I had the opportunity to get together for coffee with Councilmember Bruins since our last meeting, and I wanted to thank her for that opportunity and a wonderful conversation. Thank you.
Great. Councilmember Miller.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Been vacationing the past couple of weeks, so nothing much to report other than I did find time to attend the employee appreciation event last week, and that was a lot of fun. So back to you.
Great.
Thank you.
And Mayor Middleton.
Nothing to report.
Great, thank you. So I did have a library board meeting last Monday, and it was a record short meeting. It was only 10 minutes. Just taking care of some housekeeping. I also attended a very well-attended REACH event that was a park cleanup in San Juan Park. It was a great, we had about 30 people, I think, showed up. Got a lot of work done. It was really a pleasure to work with our Resident Empowerment Association of Citrus Heights. And that's kind of the group that works with all of the neighborhoods throughout the city. So it was a well-attended event, great time, and really enjoyed that. So thank you very much. With that, I will move on to the next item, please.
The next item is public comment, and members of the public may address the council on any agenda item of interest to the public and within the council's purview, or on any agenda item before or during the council's consideration of the item. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes each. If you wish to address the council during the meeting, fill out a speaker identification sheet and give it to myself. If participating via Zoom, use the raise hand function or *9 from a telephone to indicate your desire to speak. When your name is called, I will allow you to unmute your microphone to speak. We do have some speaker cards, but they are for some items that are later in the meeting. I do not see any raised hands in Zoom, and I did not have any speaker cards just for general public comment time.
Okay. So do I need to open the public comment for that? No? Okay. All right, next item, please.
Next item is consent calendar items 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Vice Mayor, I'd move approval.
Second?
So we have motion by Miller, second by Bruins. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bruins?
Aye.
Councilmember Daniels?
Aye.
Councilmember Miller?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Schaefer?
Aye.
And Mayor Middleton.
Aye.
All right, next item, please.
Next item is public hearing, number 9. The subject is city impact fee update. The recommendation is to adopt a resolution adopting an affordable housing impact fee nexus study and updating the affordable housing impact fee. Adopt a resolution adopting the multimodal impact fee study, renaming the roadway and transit impact fee to the multimodal impact fee and updating the fee. Adopt a resolution adopting the park impact fee nexus study and updating the park impact fee. Adopt a resolution adopting a nexus study for a fire capital facilities development impact fee. And to introduce for a first reading and read by title only and waive the full reading of an ordinance adding Article 29 to Chapter 18 of the Municipal Code relating to fire capital facilities impact fee.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, and City Manager Feeney. I am Regina Cave, the General Services Director. And bear with me as I pull up our presentation. My partner, Casey Kempenaar, will be presenting with me as well. Do I share from here? Again, good evening. Along with Casey and I, we also do have our finance director, interim director, I believe at this point, Bill Zanoni, and we also have members from Sac Metro Fire, we have from Sunrise Park District, and we have several of our partners with our consulting firms who assisted us with the city's portions of the impact fees that are going before you this evening. So currently, the city collects 4 separate impact fees. 2 of those are city fees, which are the affordable housing fee, also known as the linkage fee, and the Nexus study report that was distributed. We have the roadway and transit fee, which again is the multimodal fee as we are proposing. We have the fire facilities fees, and we have the park impact fee. The impact fee history is the affordable housing fee was last updated in 1992 under Sacramento County. The roadway and transit fee was last updated in 1988, again prior to our incorporation. The parks impact fee was last updated in 1999, and the fire facilities was last updated in 2014. AB 1600 are is the Mitigation Fee Act. They are required to be charged to new development. They cannot be used to offset existing deficiencies within your infrastructure systems. They do require nexus and rough proportionality to impact, and they are considered a fee, not a tax. For the impact fee process, you must conduct a nexus study, and that study is based on anticipated growth, looking at population and calls for service. You must have a relationship to the impacts on resources from that growth, and it helps to establish a ceiling for impact fees. Council may also set fees anywhere below that threshold. The overarching principles of the impact fees are to ensure development pays their fair share as opposed to bearing that burden on your existing tax base. Balances cost with reasonableness. You strive for parity with nearby fees and looking at other local jurisdictions. Recognition of fees are an important tool as they serve for match for various projects. Helps to balance the need of fees with economic development efforts. And future-proof, so looking at that index to inflation as opposed to coming back sporadically or recurring, requesting that index or inflation. And complete prior to AB 602 impacts, which go into effect this July 1st. So I'm going to pass this over to Casey to talk about the affordable housing fee.
Thanks, Regina. Casey Kempenaar, Community Development Director. I'm going to go over the affordable housing fee and then turn it back over to Regina. So as she mentioned, this fee was adopted by Sacramento County way back in 1992 and is intended to support low-income housing, in particular 30 to 50% of AMI. The concept behind this fee that was evaluated by the Nexus study was looking at the impact of new non-residential development on affordable housing. The thought is, or the concept is that as you add jobs for non-residential uses, a share of those jobs are going to be lower paying, creating a demand for affordable housing in the city. So as Regina mentioned, this was adopted as part of incorporation efforts and was not indexed to inflation. Next slide, please. So currently, the balance of that fund is $374,000, but we have used the fund on various projects over the years. Most of you probably remember we partnered with SHRA to modernize the public housing we have here in the city in 2006 through 2011, and we're hoping to use this chunk of funding for part of the Sayonara replacement obligation that we are obligated to do there on Sayonara Drive. It also is an important matching fund tool that we can use as new affordable housing developments come in. It enables us to leverage city non-general fund funds to help deliver affordable housing. Next slide, please. So as we stated, those funds were not indexed to inflation. So you can see on the left column is the existing fee. And then on the right column is if you had indexed them to inflation at 3% per year. So you can see the buying power has dropped off dramatically as inflation has increased. So the fees are significantly higher here if you use the inflationary method of 3% per year. Next slide, please. So as Regina mentioned, we look at the maximum, the Nexus study establishes the maximum fee that is justifiable based on the AB 600 rules. Generally, that fee is very high, and it's not sustainable to apply that fee because it'll really impact economic development efforts and just be a burden on development. So generally, the fee is set much lower than what the maximum is established. So you can see here our existing fee, the indexed version that we just went over, and then recently Sacramento County updated their version of the fee, and their study had a little bit different methodology, but you can see the fees the maximum fees would be very high for them. And you can see on the final column, our fee study, those fees are also still quite high. So really, the council's job is to set the fee at a reasonable amount below that ceiling, and we have a couple options for your consideration tonight. Next slide, please. So those options that we're recommending you consider tonight and give us some direction on are following the inflation and just indexing those fees to inflation. We could average the regional fees, so looking at the fees for our neighboring agencies and just taking a straight average of those. Or we can match the recently adopted Sacramento County fees for some regional parity there. So those are the different options that staff has come up with. The council can, again, set those fees anywhere below that ceiling. So we'd like some direction from you on which route you would like to go. Next slide, please.
Question.
And then I'll turn it
Question
over.
before we move on.
Yeah.
Casey, when you say maximum fee we could charge, that's not a moneymaker. That's how much it costs us?
That's correct. The Nexus study evaluates what it would cost to produce affordable housing per square foot of these different uses. And so that's the cost, what it would actually cost if we were to go out and build affordable housing based on square foot
So if we
of
do,
these other uses.
if we don't do the maximum, then it does get subsidized from where?
Generally, especially in affordable housing and many of our other fees, that is used as a match, and that would be used as a match for grant applications so that's subsidized through grant funds
Okay.
from outside agencies, state or federal.
Okay, our taxpayers aren't on the hook for any of that?
That's correct, yeah. In general, that's kind of how most agencies do this, is they establish a fee that's reasonable and then use that as matching funds to deliver a bigger project with other agency grant funds.
Councilmember Miller, if I could add to, there are times where some city councils choose to augment a affordable housing project with general fund dollars, for instance. Certainly, we as a city pursue grant opportunities and other funding opportunities. Affordable housing developers pursue tax credits, but there are scenarios where a city would augment an affordable housing project with general fund dollars. So arguably, that would be a subsidy coming from other residents.
Yeah, and I think maybe I'm focused on low income, but it kind of applies overall to the different development fees we charge. In other words, I'm not quite getting what the maximum fee is then, because,
The maximum
So
fee, go ahead, Casey, go ahead if you want to handle that.
Sorry about that. So the maximum fee is what it would take to build, in this case, affordable housing, to offset the impacts of the additional population growth and the new residents that are lower income. So that's the cost it would per square foot of these different land uses to help create affordable housing.
okay, because I always thought a fee was to recover our costs.
Impact fees are a little bit different.
That's why I don't understand. Okay,
They represent the impact that the development will have on the community for additional
Correct.
services.
right.
So,
But it's
it's not a fee that they pay to, like a permit fee. But
correct.
like, I'm thinking of the park impact fees that we've collected in the past. You know, there have been times when the district has applied to us for those fees for enhancing the park services because of the additional population.
Right.
To offset the
Right.
impact of the population on, in this case, affordable housing, or that case, parks. You had new residents, it impacts those services that we provide.
I can just maybe add a simple example too, on like a park impact fee, for instance. It's not, when development impact fees are paid, it's not to rehab existing equipment. When you're adding additional residents, adding additional demand for a park facility, it results in a need for additional facilities. You may end up funding a new playground structure that's additive to an existing park because you're adding additional recreational opportunities for those new residents, offsetting the new impacts associated with those new residents. So it's really, it's about development paying its way, offsetting those new impacts associated with additional residents or demands that are created by that new development, whether it's roadways or it's parks, in this case, affordable housing.
So my question goes to when the development fee doesn't cover all that, where does the money, and I hear it comes from grants, but you still have to match that. So it comes from somewhere. Does it come from our general fund? I'm trying to grasp the maximum fee for the county's $47.60. If they only get $2, then is it, we don't build parks?
Well, this case is probably our most extreme example, affordable
Right.
housing. It's very expensive to build housing. We've got a housing crisis throughout the state. In an ideal world, if you were to offset the impact fully, that would be the cost, the maximum ceiling, that, and based on these studies, that would fully offset the impacts associated with new development for affordable housing. In reality, from an economic development perspective and just from having any project work fiscally, that fee doesn't work. So
when it doesn't work, who pays for that not working?
So one of the challenges, and this is something from a statewide perspective, building the amount of affordable housing that's needed, that's something that's a statewide issue. And so one would argue that you're not able to fully build all the affordable housing that's needed associated with these different land uses. And that's not a Citrus Heights problem, that's a statewide problem.
Right.
But when we do have affordable housing projects come up, like the city has, we have them under construction right now. City of Citrus Heights is building affordable housing. Those deals are put together from development impact fee fund sources as well as grants that we pursue, and then developers of affordable housing pursue those tax credits. And so it's a combination of different funds that help affordable housing get built. There are cases of, like I mentioned before, if let's say we had a affordable housing project that's really important to our city council and you wanted to see it get built. In that case, we would take whatever fees collected here from an affordable housing fee, whatever the level of it is, you'd take that, you'd take whatever funding sources are, and if there was a gap to fund, then potentially that could be funded with general fund, and that would be the subsidy for producing those additional housing units.
Or you just don't do what the Nexus study says, it should be this much for affordable housing, but we're not I'm just trying to wrap we don't collect the maximum amount, then
Right.
then we're
Yeah.
stuck. That's
Well,
all we can do.
You could go up to, legally, you could go up to that ceiling. You couldn't go above that ceiling. But
And I'm not proposing that at all. I just want to.
But I think it's more, it's just also kind of, as Casey was mentioning at the outset, of just trying to find a rate that is reasonable relative to what burden could be.
The impact from development causes. And we could get this full maximum fee, but I don't think we're.
Well, if you go for the full the one argument would be if the full maximum fee was applied and you collect, and there's zero development that happens, 0% is 0. So
Yeah.
trying to find that Goldilocks zone, I think, is what we're striving to do here.
Got it. Just wanted some clarification. Thank you.
A question also, Mr. Vice Mayor. So as I'm looking at the index and max, this is 97, currently it's 97 cents per what? Square foot? What's the-
Correct, per square foot.
Per square foot, okay. And then the index cost is what it would be if we had done the cost of living increases over the years, or?
Yes, we applied a 3% growth rate
Okay.
for every year since the fee was initially adopted.
Okay. And then, so help me understand then why the ceiling is so much higher.
The actual cost to build affordable housing is greater than a fee that the council would probably be willing to consider.
Okay.
Because of the impacts of that higher fee, what they would have on development.
Okay, and so to the city, I understand the impact of, or the cost from the builder's standpoint, but what are the costs that the city incurs? Is it staff time? Is it?
We just collect the fee and we can use it to
Okay.
support affordable housing in a variety of ways. We're
Okay,
not
so it's just a collection.
we're not obligated to build a certain number of units or anything. It's meant to be used to support affordable housing, and we can retrofit existing housing as we have in the past, or we could help contribute to something like Sayonara. It gives a fair amount of discretion for the council to
Right,
consider.
okay. Thanks.
Anybody else, any questions? Great.
Okay. Now on to roadway transit fee. This is also known as what we are branding it as the multimodal fee. So this was adopted by Sacramento County in 1988, and this was done in conjunction with Measure A as a requirement for receiving those Measure A funds. You have to have an impact fee in place. This is to demonstrate that while your users are paying into the system through Measure A, through that half-cent sales tax, you are also collecting funds from developers who contribute towards that growth. This fee has not been indexed to inflation and is intended, again, to fund construction of roadway and transit improvements that stem from that growth, that land growth. Adopted by City Council as part of incorporation, it was done as roadway, transit, and an admin fee. And the study consolidates into one single development impact fee known as the multimodal fee to account for all modes of transportation. So the next few charts identify the formulas that were used. This was done by EPS and with Fair and Peers, and this took the SACOG-SAC-SIM model to look at the trends and the projected growth in the region, and specifically here in Citrus Heights through 2040, and looking where our dwelling units or dwelling unit equivalents would be or would stem from based upon land use. They also looked at vehicle miles traveled and how that equates to those dwelling unit equivalents per unit. And from there, it produced a couple scenarios. And so the scenario one is the development impact fee project cost covers the impact fees proportionate to that new development. And so this would equate to about 11.3%, which is in line with what we typically are required for matches for our grant projects, our complete streets large projects. Scenario two, as indicated in the Nexus study, is a little bit more subjective. It itemizes the development impact fee project responsibility for funding. All of the DIF projects are evaluated on a case-by-case basis, and it helps to determine the extent of how that development project will address some of the deficiencies. This approach considers that under cumulative conditions, so looking at the entire system, about 89% of the DUEs are existing and only 11% are associated with new development. And this approach also considers where redevelopment is planned to occur by looking at our land uses. As shown, this approach would fund more than double of what scenario one is, but again, this is very subjective. So the impact fee calculations and looking at our DUEs and looking at that project list that was included with the Nexus study, that CIP list was developed and looking at all of our existing conditions where our complete streets projects have already been constructed, but where ones need to be constructed to kind of fill in those gaps with existing development and projected new development to get that multimodal connection throughout our city. And so based upon that list and forecasting what those costs would be, that provided a formula for the consultant to be able to develop what that new impact fee should be by single-family dwelling units, multifamily dwelling units, our retail, and our employment centers. So again, scenario one looks at a slight increase for our single-family to 2,614. Our multifamily to 1,418. Those are per units, and then everything else is by square footage. And then scenario two is substantially higher and again, subjective.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
go back to scenario one. So you said it's a slight increase. Let's see, let me catch up here.
It's about a $1,000 increase, and this does not include an administrative component. We did not add an administrative, we just combined the roadway and the transit into one. So that 2,614 is without an additional administrative cost.
You're losing me with all the figures.
Sorry.
You're going a little too fast for me. So, going back to scenario one, we've got, the land you said, I'm not seeing the increase. Basically, I'm seeing the development impact fee contribution, impact per square foot, but what is that measuring against? Is that current or is that proposed?
This is what is proposed, and if I can go through 2 slides, I can show you what the
Okay, let me go back.
comparison.
Okay, let me look at that one a little bit.
So the existing fee comparison, if we look regionally, and we also look against what we're currently charging, all the way to the right, our existing fees are $1,434 per unit. This is for a single-family dwelling, a single-family house.
I think this is the operative slide for me, so, with the comparison, okay.
And the proposed is again scenario 1, not the scenario 2.
Right, so how, looking at the commercial retail and then the professional office, you have a range there.
There's a range per square footage because we also have our commercial and retail broken down into subsections, and so it depends on what type of a use that.
To be within that range.
Correct.
All right, thank you. Okay, thanks.
And I think to close the book on my previous questions, if we didn't charge the fee, we wouldn't do anything. We wouldn't build that extra lane we needed because of traffic or add a bus route because of traffic. We just wouldn't do anything. I thought it was a nexus that we had to add these things, and so if we don't charge anything.
I don't understand that argument that we wouldn't do anything.
Well,
You know,
right.
we still have revenue.
Right,
It's just that this would be additional revenue.
exactly, Brett. That's kind of what I was driving at, was that it would have to come from somewhere else.
Right, and again, not to get too deep into the weeds on it. I mean, today, people are having to pay a whole lot more for housing, which then translates into a higher property tax too. So there's additional revenue coming in from that area.
Yeah. Okay, I think I get it now.
Okay. And so, similar to what Casey had demonstrated, if those 1988 fees were indexed, where we would be at today, if we'd indexed them since 1988 at 3%, we would be at $3,800, significantly more than what we are proposing under scenario 1. And if we indexed at 3% since 1998, right after incorporation, it would still be greater than what we are proposing today. And that is across the board for all of the categories.
And moving forward, we would index this to inflation.
Correct. That is what is being proposed again.
That's one of the options, right? Or is that in all cases?
That is in all cases. So again, the staff's recommendation is scenario 1, which is an equitable distribution of roadway impacts and costs of those improvements. It is a modest increase when we're looking historically at inflation, and if adopted, these fees would be indexed to inflation.
Which would make it not so painful going forward.
So now on to park impacts. I'm going to pass this over to Casey if there's no further questions on that item.
Great, thank you. So yeah, these next 2 fees are fees that we collect on behalf of our special district partners. So Sunrise Parks and Rec obviously provides our park services here, so they are unable to collect their own fees. So we have a partnership with them where we collect the fee. And most of the council members probably know, we talk to them at 2x2s to discuss on how the fees can be used within our parks here in the city. So this fee was adopted by the city in 1989, and it's intended to support expansion of parks. So that's building new parks or adding new amenities to parks to help offset the impact of new residents that are living here in the city. The concept is very similar to the other 2, where new residents and business increase the demand on their parks, which impacts the park's level of service. They might be overcrowded. So they are able to add new parks or new amenities to help reduce that overcrowding. Similar to the other fees, this has not been indexed to inflation, so the buying power is dramatically reduced. Next slide, please. You can see here the Park District has a number of parks here in the city. They all have different amenities and different characteristics. We have allocated funding recently in Rush Park. We've done some work there with the Park District. We've used over the years various investments into the city's parks. Next slide, please. So as you can see here, the fees that are proposed that are necessary to continue to improve the parks are quite higher than what we have today. The top row is our existing fee. The second row are the fees that are proposed. And those are the fees that are necessary to continue to expand parks and really contribute to the quality of life that we've come here to expect here in the city. You can see still, even though the fee is quite increased, it's still very modest in comparison to the surrounding areas. These are other park districts that are immediately adjacent or in proximity to the city. And you can see even with this increase, we'd still be the lowest fee within that immediate region. Next slide, please. And that concludes the parks overview. Was there any specific questions? Park. And we have Margaret Hatton for Sunrise Parks and Rec District is in the audience as well. No questions? Okay. The next fee is the fire facilities fee. And this is a fee that was established back in 2002. And that helps the fire district, Sac Metro Fire, build facilities and equipment necessary to serve growth. This fee is unique that it has been updated a couple of times since incorporation, but they still have been unable to keep up with inflation. The district's done a lot of work recently to evaluate growth for the next 20 years. And given the pace of growth within their jurisdiction, there's a need, they've updated their master plan, and there's a need to invest into the infrastructure necessary to serve our community. We have an existing agreement with Metro Fire, similar to parks, where we collect the fees and remit those fees back to Metro Fire. Sacramento County, including Rancho Cordova, have a similar agreement. Next slide, please. So similar to the other types of fees, the Nexus study looks at the planning horizon, and it looks at what it takes to build the master plan, and it looks at the existing and future facilities and the upgrades necessary. Those fees are then used to establish a cost per capita, and then those are backed into the different development types to determine the cost of development to keep up with the impacts. So similarly, this fee is only projected to generate about $90 million throughout their entire jurisdiction, which is really only about a quarter of the costs anticipated necessary to build out the district's master plan to continue to serve the population in their jurisdiction. Next slide, please. So there's a lot of improvements necessary at the fire district's existing stations, and then new equipment to serve growth as well. So as growth continues as population growth continues, they need additional resources to be able to continue to serve our population. And they have a capital improvement plan that will identify the timing and funding of those improvements as the funding comes in. Next slide, please. This is just an overview. It shows you how large the district is. We have 4 stations here. You can see there on the next slide, zooms into the city. You can see we have existing stations. And each of these stations, and talking to Metro Fire, if they give a more thorough presentation at the 2x2, there's a lot of upgrades that are necessary to these stations. And these stations really play an important role in the city and the region because we are kind of geographically centered to their region. So they serve outside the city as well. But these stations definitely have some improvements that are necessary to keep up with the demand. Next slide. This slide, I won't bore you with the numbers too much, but the key takeaway here is the stations in the city are about at capacity and need to do some improvements to continue to get back below capacity and continue to serve our residents. Next slide. So as you can see here, the takeaway from this slide is the added service population over the next 20 years is going to be 173,000 people, or about a 17% increase. So there's definitely the need to serve these new residents is very acute, and then we need to to plan accordingly. Next slide. So you can see the fees are on the left column are the existing fees, in the middle column is the proposed fees, and the far right column are the percent increase. You can see some of the fees are on the residential side are generally more modest. The commercial side are generally greater. There's part of their Nexus study looked at the calls for service are greatly higher in those types of uses than in the past. So there's a need to cover those costs for those additional calls and equipment necessary to serve those types of businesses. With that, I think that was all the slides for that section. Do you have any fire questions? Jeff Fry with Sac Metro Fire is available for questions as well.
If I may just add one item, Mr. Vice Mayor.
Sure.
One of the things with Citrus Heights being a city that is primarily going to be infill and redevelopment, under a redevelopment scenario where there's already been fees that have paid, you get in your demoing square footage, you're getting a credit against that fee for the new square footage you're building. So it's not like you're demoing a building and then you're going to have to pay all the additional cost for that entire building. It would be whatever net new square footage you're building is what you would be paying the impact fee on. So I think that's important as part of this conversation as it relates to some of the redevelopment opportunities that we're looking at.
That makes sense. The
So-
square, go ahead.
I do have a question about, Portia, I want to give you an opportunity. Is there anything you have any questions on?
No, not at this time. Thank you.
So I have so in the last 10 years, the entire population of Citrus Heights only grew by about 500 people. And the projection is over the next, how many people are going to grow in the next 20 years, according to, where's Casey? What was your?
That last slide is for the whole district of for Sac Metro, which extends beyond the city.
So I certainly, we're a very, very small piece of the pie when it comes to the entire district. But it's hard to anticipate that we're going to really have, certainly we have Mitchell Village that wasn't accounted the last census. There's a little, but, you know, from our growth standpoint in Citrus Heights, which is what we're talking about here, I just don't see the growth numbers are going to be huge here. So that's my only comment.
I have a question. So on the fire impact fee, does the impact fee that's paid for development in Citrus Heights get applied to fire facilities just within Citrus Heights?
If it'd be all right with you, Councilmember Burns, I'd like Jeff Fry to answer that question with Metro Fire. He's probably better at explaining it than I am.
Happy to answer it. And thank you for the question, Councilmember Bruins. Not necessarily. To your point, the fees are collected in whole, and the district determines where the greatest need is. I do think, in general, that will benefit the city of Citrus Heights. As was described, the city is really the central service point for a lot of our delivery in the northern part of our district. So what I would tell you is probably the opposite is true, in that we will be collecting the development fees from our entire jurisdiction, but specifically stations 23 and 21 within the city of Citrus Heights play a significant role in our service delivery system, and those stations are particularly impacted by call volume. And we do have a rather immediate need to expand those stations and provide more service, specifically EMS service, but also some additional fire service capabilities out of those stations. So we do prioritize where we get the best bang for the buck, as it were. But certainly, you know, the Citrus Heights stations for us are a big part of that service delivery mechanism.
Okay, thank you for that. So do I understand that to mean then that we are part of what the impact fees that come out of Citrus Heights are part of a bigger pool
Correct.
of impact fees that are paid from all the various jurisdictions you service?
Correct.
So that the development impact fees that are charged to our growth could be used anywhere, as could the impact fees that are charged to other jurisdictions could be used in our city as well.
That is true.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Not on that particular one.
All right, I'm going to open this up for,
Actually, before you do, I have one other question. Sorry.
go ahead.
So, are these fees, I mean, we got 4 different pots here, and I'm presuming that they're handled a little differently. They're not all homogeneous. One is handled like every other one. But so for transportation, that money is paid and used by us to improve roads and thoroughfares and so forth. The affordable housing is used by us to pay our portion of whatever the cost is. But for the fire district and then for the park district, since they're separate entities, do they apply for funds? Or, I know, I'm thinking in the past, we've voted on park projects. They've come to us for park impact fee utilization for, like, replacing the equipment at Rush Park, as an example, the playground equipment. So for those 2 jurisdictions, do they then come to the city, or do we automatically provide the money on an ongoing basis?
So you're correct on the park district, Councilmember Bruins, is that we, as the district, does a 2x2 with our council members to help allocate those funds when the district makes their requests. For the fire district, we remit those funds to them, but we do collect a 3% admin fee for our cost of doing, annual audits and the kind of backup house type stuff that needs to be done on those fees.
Okay, so the only one that has to come to us and apply on a project-by-project basis or a need-by-need basis, basically, is the park district?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other comments, questions? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open the public hearing. So do we have any raised hands or speaker items for this?
I do not see any raised hands, but I do have, yes, Councilmember Daniels?
Yeah, I do have a message that Kathy Lynn Carpenter from the Sunrise Marketplace PBID, okay for me to read, if that's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, it says, I'm unable to participate in meeting and wanted to register our opposition. We would be opposed to any increases in commercial development fees, and these increases are quite significant. With the economy and retailers recovering from a pandemic, this would have a deleterious effect on development. And I'll chastise her for using such big words for me to read. So, but those are.
And I
That was her comment, or the Sunrise Marketplace?
That was her comment as the executive director of the Sunrise Marketplace.
Okay, cool.
She also, we all got the same message, and she stated she just read this tonight, so this has not gone before their board. This is just Kathy Lynn Carpenter.
Yeah, their meeting was canceled today.
Yeah, well, the point is that
Yeah.
this is not a board position.
That was what I was curious about.
And I do have 2 comments that were submitted to be read, so I'll go ahead and read those. The first is from Oleg Shishko. Honorable council members, I would like to voice my opposition to the proposed fee increases to developments in Citrus Heights. I think that this proposal comes at a very bad time. Inflation is very high, market growth and developments are slowing down, and a possible recession may be here very soon. These fee increases will significantly hurt the little guy for whom a few hundred or $1,000 will make a big difference. If you allow these fee increases to go through, many smaller projects may be significantly delayed or even canceled. Earlier this year, our city budget had a projected surplus of $2.9 million. This should more than enough cover the higher costs our planning department may be experiencing. Please support the residents of Citrus Heights by rejecting these fee increases. Then I have from Victor Chobin. I am very happy to be living in Citrus Heights. The field of the city is very rural and in many places picturesque. I am a father of 4 children and have been renting for the last 10 years. My dream is to purchase a lot and build our home. Every time I hear about fee increases, I cringe because that means people like me are discouraged from improving empty lots, especially with the economy slowing down right now. And this is not a good idea. The impact fee itself doesn't make any sense because when a house is built on an empty lot and the new family moves in and they plant trees and take care of the place, in the place of weeds and thistles and a place for dumping trash, now there is a new house with a family in it. Please keep the fees low to encourage making our city more attractive by beautiful development. One of our founding fathers said about government, that which governs least governs best. And that concludes the written comments that I had received.
Thank you. Is there any member of the audience that would like to speak on this item? Okay, with that, I will close the public hearing. Are there any comments or questions from council?
I have a question. Can we take each fee separately?
Yes, and in fact, I think you need to take the fees separately. There's listed in the
Oh,
agenda
yeah.
5 separate motions.
Got
So
it.
the first one would be the affordable housing and so forth.
Right.
And I would just like to remind the council that, at least on the affordable housing, we need some direction on if you decide to move forward, which option of the 3 you would like to proceed with.
Right. Okay, well, I'll start.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jeannie, excuse
ahead.
me, I'm
Go ahead.
sorry. Nobody asked if we had any comments yet.
Hey,
Go
you
for
have
it.
any comments, Brett?
Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. I do have some comments. I'm very concerned about all of the fees and their potential impact and what we see in the market today. You know, we are seeing a very, very rapid increase in mortgage rates, which does nothing but it pushes people out of the market. Any fee increases will push somebody out of the market. Somebody will suffer for any rise in fees that we do tonight. And so I think we should keep that in mind. There's not a single fee that doesn't impact taxpayers in here. No, one way or another, it's a taxpayer or a homeowner or a business owner that's going to pay this fee. And I think that's very concerning during this crazy time that we see coming out of the pandemic and whatnot. And so I think we should be very careful with that. I'm actually going to support the fire capital facilities fee. I think those fees look pretty reasonable, not on some of the percentages, but some on the actual amounts. And for what that goes for, I think that's a critical service that we're providing. I don't believe we should be increasing the affordable housing fee. That's putting the impact of somebody else's living on the shoulders of somebody else who might not then now be able to buy a home or something like that. I'm not going to support any increase to parks when we still have what I believe is a very negative image of our parks within Citrus Heights, and that's not necessarily our Parks District fault. That's the fault of activism on the judicial level is how I'll say it, but we got to get that under control before we ask people to pay more for our parks with what goes on in those parks. And then again, the fire one I'll support, but the others I simply cannot. And I would recommend maybe that we just, you know, the problem here is that we haven't done our job and we haven't kept up with increasing these fees along the way. And now all of a sudden, we're going to ask for dramatic increases for the most part. And I would feel that we should instead not do that with the exception of the fire one. And instead just take these fees now, don't increase them, but build in the 3% annual increases in them going forward. And that would be my position.
Vice Mayor, I also have a comment.
Yes, Portia, please. Mayor.
If you look at this from a regional approach, we are out of alignment. And so when people are looking at development and what brings people and folks to areas, it's because they have nice paved roads, they have housing, and they have these amenities to attract folks. If we don't do an increase, then we risk not being able to do that. We have to build affordable housing, we have to pay our roads, we want underground utilities. These are things that need to be done. I'm not saying go all the way out on the far end, on the hiring spectrum, I wouldn't support that. But the fees do need to be increased to put us in alignment with other jurisdictions around us so that we can regionally be able to participate. I mean, when it comes down to grant funding and matching for those funds, we're not able to do that. And that's what's really holding Citrus Heights back. We can't continue to fund these things out of our general fund. I think that's really, when you look at the history of our budget, that's why we are where we are. It's because we keep putting this off rather than catching ourselves up. And we're dipping into our general fund. So right now we have a surplus. We would like to keep that surplus and be able to use that for other projects for our residents. We need to do some type of increase.
Yeah, go ahead.
Councilmember Milner?
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I do agree with the mayor on some of her points, except that we don't have a surplus. We have a reserve, and there's a purpose for that reserve. It's not just a sponge.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, thank you for sure. So I think I understand this now. If you add development, both housing or commercial, and it causes impacts to our low-income housing, our roads, parks, fire district, we charge a fee related to that development to cover our cost for new housing, road and trail improvements, new parks and new amenities, and fire equipment and facilities to serve growth. And I thought it was interesting when our mayor talked about regionalism. If we're not charging it, we're going to get developers in here that are going to build anything and everything and leave us with nothing except the crappy roads we still have and the traffic we still have. And especially, well, I'd like to charge a fee for driving through Citrus Heights from Roseville to Rancho Cordova, but that's a whole nother story, because it just impacts our roads. So if this fee doesn't cover our nexus needs related to this development, we can either not make the improvements, which I just can't see, or pay for it with other revenue sources. And again, we don't have that much money to go around just to take care of our maintenance needs, which isn't covered by these fees. So, well, I don't like seeing increasing, especially this time. The costs are going up for everything, and we need to cover our city as far as taking care of these things. Now, the nexus for low-income housing, I'd probably need a little bit more convincing that exists to development. I don't quite understand that, but again, what we're proposing is not that much of an increase. What are we proposing for low-income housing, Casey?
We have three choices.
We have three choices. Is that the index?
I think what I'm hearing from the council is the last choice is probably not the best choice. I think the other two choices, either indexing to inflation since it was adopted, or taking an average of our regional neighbors would probably be the better of the two, or one of those two options would make more sense.
The figures I like are just to the regional average, but I also like to build in a inflation factor to that, so we're not coming back every year because costs are going up. So those are my comments.
Any more, Jeannie?
Yeah. So question, these are, what, I'm looking at the affordable housing fee. Now, those three choices, those are the max that would be allocated to either hit 1, 2, or 3. Am I correct, Casey?
These fees are well below the maximum that we could charge in either of these scenarios. We could charge much more if that was the direction. However, we think that these are reasonable. You know, we're trying to hit that magic number that is reasonable and still gets the job done. So that's why we're recommending one of these two options, really.
Okay, so so the index for inflation, that catches us up for, it's been 30 years since we've done an increase for the affordable housing fee based on the year 1992 that you gave us.
Yeah, so that would just be 3% over that 30 years
Okay.
from the existing fee was what the math showed.
Okay, so 3% times 30 years. Okay, my personal thought on that is that's asking a lot to catch up 30 years worth of not increasing fees in one lump sum. So I would like to suggest that we use the lowest fee, which is number 2, adjust to regional average. I think that'll be easier. That's still almost double what we're charging now, but that would be easier to digest for anyone who wants to develop here in Citrus Heights. And, you know, and going forward, it's just kind of appalling to me that we waited 30 years to adjust on that one and 24 and 23 on the other two. I remember when we did the park impact fee in 1999, because I was working for the Chamber of Commerce at the time, not on the council, and we made comment on that. And so we haven't done anything since then. So I think it's fiscally prudent for us to pay closer attention to this going forward so that we stay current with what the inflationary costs are, so it's not such a big gulp at one time. So my suggestion would be that we do option number 2, because it's the most palatable, and it still gives us almost a double over what we're charging today on affordable housing. That's my thoughts.
If that's a motion, I'll second it.
Oh, I've still got a comment here. So this is probably the hardest piece that I struggle with, is that we waited so long to implement these. And the timing couldn't possibly be worse, where we're seeing inflation out of control, we're seeing cost of living going up. And when we start talking about affordable housing in California, we keep increasing the fees and asking people or requiring people to have solar on their homes, and all these additional requirements that drive the cost of housing up. And so I really am struggling with doing this. When it comes to affordable housing, though, I would agree with Councilmember Bruins that scenario 2 is probably the most palatable if we have to do this. And I am going to agree with Councilmember Daniels on the fire impact. I think it's, when you look at the percentages, they are high, but the actual number is not that high, not that much. So those are really the only, and with regard to the park impact fee, I'd like to suggest that we do, because that is such a huge, I think that it was 594%, something like that. Can we phase that in over a 5-year period and say, all right, here's what the park impact fee is, and just phase that in so we're not doing an enormous jump all at one time, or a 3-year phase-in period. Those are my comments. So certainly like to know what staff thinks of the, if there's any possible way to do on the park impact fee, to do that a phase in over a 3 or 5-year period.
One final question, if I may. So since we're addressing the affordable housing fee at this point, if we vote to approve option number 2, well, then from that point forward, will it be indexed to inflation so that this doesn't come back as such a big bite in a future year?
Yes, correct. We feel the pain too, and we recommend that all these fees are indexed to inflation. So every January they would be updated based on the engineering record for San Francisco, California, and Northern California.
Okay.
So that'll be updated every January.
All right, very good. Then if there's no other, you have thought? One other thought?
I was going to make a motion, so go ahead.
Okay, well, go ahead if you want to do it.
I'd move to adopt a resolution adopting the Affordable Housing Impact Fee Nexus Study and updating the Affordable Housing Impact Fee to the regional average and indexed to inflation at 3% per year.
Second.
Councilmember Miller.
Yes.
If I may, the way we've set it up, unless you're really set on the 3% per year, is that we look at the inflationary averages throughout construction from Northern California. So they may be 3, they may be less, they may be more, but it'll track inflation every year is how we have it currently established.
Okay, I'm seeing,
Yeah.
then I'll amend my motion to that index to inflation.
And I'll support that with a second.
Any other comments from council? Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Bruins?
Aye.
Councilmember Daniels?
No.
Councilmember Miller?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Schaefer?
Aye.
And Mayor Middleton?
Aye.
Okay. A motion on the second item, please? The-
Okay, let's have comments first.
Oh, sorry, okay.
Okay. So our next resolution deals with the roads and transit fee. Hasn't been updated since 1988. You know, we've already commented on how difficult it is that that's been so long, 34 years, before incorporation, by the way, as was the other one. But if anybody talks about anything outside of homelessness to us, it's about the roads. So I support this particular increase. Can you, Casey, just review that again, what it is and what it will be?
Regina, would you mind changing that
Yes.
slide?
So our existing is 1,434 per single-family unit, and we are proposing 2,614 per unit. And then for multifamily would be from 1,313 to 1,418. And then the square footage would adjust from 445 to that range to the right of 387 to 626 for commercial retail, and from 364 to a range of 283 to 788 per square foot for professional office.
Okay. So how, on the commercial and the professional offices, what determines where they fall within that range?
It depends on the class or the use of that business.
So within that range, are there specific standards or specific costs? Rather than, you know, so for instance, if it was, I don't know, retail under 1,000 square feet, that's one cost. Retail 1,000 to 5,000, that's another cost. Are there finite costs?
There are costs associated with, for retail, it would be either your food, your general retail, or your service. And so depending on what those DUEs are, is where we would establish that hourly, or excuse me, that square foot cost.
Okay, so within that range, there are specific costs.
Correct.
Based on what they are.
Depending on the vehicle miles and the trips that are generated for that type of use. So if a commercial retail, food generates more vehicle miles traveled or more road usage than a professional office, then those numbers are
Higher.
assigned as so, correct.
Okay, so those are, how do we know? Those are preset based on history or?
I would divert that question to our consultant that we have, John Gard, who is with Fair and Peers, who provided the assistance with developing the formulas. John, are you on?
Yes, I am. Hello, everyone. I'm John Gard with Fair and Peers, and we developed this part of the fee program. And the way that the VMT multimodal fee works is that we're looking at, different land use categories and the number of PM peak hour trips that are generated by each of those land use categories, the percentage of trips that are new versus, already on the road, passing by to get a gallon of milk or something in the evening. And then also looking at the length of those trips. And if you recall the work we did for the Senate Bill 743 VMT analysis, we were able to actually pull trip length data by different land use types. So basically the way the dwelling unit equivalents are calculated, it's multiplication of PM peak hour trips times new pass by versus new trips, and then also trip length. So, that there are some details here, and that's why the range is shown in that table.
Okay.
I'm happy to answer more questions if more come up.
So it's far more detailed than what's been presented to us tonight within those ranges,
Correct.
based on all those factors.
Correct.
Correct. They're
Question?
documented in the staff report. There's a
Right.
lot of tables.
Yeah.
I have a question
I know.
regarding the
Go ahead, Councilmember Daniels.
Yeah, so just as an example, on the professional office building, so if somebody wants to come in and let's say around, as we redevelop the Sunrise Mall area, hopefully, and wants to put an office in there, whatever, and if it's 10,000 square feet, am I reading that right? At current fees, they would pay $36,000, and at proposed fee, they might pay as high as $78,000?
For the Sunrise Mall, or for the Sunrise Tomorrow, again, as city manager had mentioned earlier, we would still figure out a calculation of credit usage. So the mall would be credited for anything that had already been paid for that development. And so any new uses above and beyond and what that delta would be calculated. So it's not as black and white as
That
you
mean
say.
if they, are you talking about like if they have a parking lot that's nothing there, there's still a way to reconfigure that number?
If they go above and beyond what the current square footage is. So if the
No, I'm
mall,
saying there's nothing there. There's a park, we're gonna read, we're hoping that the mall parking lot is not anywhere near what it exists today. You know, that it's got a better usage to it. So is it potential, is the potential there, or somewhere else, let's say, that somebody at this point would pay $36,000 for that 10,000 square foot development, would now pay as high as $78,000?
so for specifically for that category, the professional office is $2.83 a square foot. So the 788, that range, that 788 reflects medical.
Okay, so if somebody wanted to build a medical office there,
Correct.
they could end up paying as high as $78,000.
That is correct.
Yeah, if it's totally greenfield,
Correct.
and no existing buildings.
So that's going from no usage to maximum usage. So if there's somewhere in between, let's say are you talking, Brett, your example being from brand-new construction?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that seems to be, yeah.
Okay. So if we had reuse, would there be an impact fee for that as well?
There could potentially be a reuse. There
Okay,
could be
but it would
potentially be,
be
depending on what the
incremental.
credit is.
Okay, so you get credited against the increase.
Correct.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Okay, so in that scenario, there's a possibility that someone would pay a lesser fee, because the range starts at 283, and right now we're at 364. So for professional offices, they actually would fare better under the new structure than they are today.
That is correct.
Okay. All right.
Councilmember Miller, do you have any comment?
No, I'm just looking at, again, some of the comments about the doubling of our fees, and looking at the fire fees and going, oh, well, they're, 60%. They're not even coming close to doubling their fees, but they've adjusted annually. We've taken 25 years of nothing, and I've had this with regional transit, with fares. You just don't go from $2 a ride to $5. That's just too big a shock. In fact, we're actually going the other direction, reducing fares to attract riders, but I get that. You can't just dump up. It's hard making it right when you haven't updated it annually, but I'm sure if we looked 25 years ago and what the fire district capital fee was charging, it's probably more than double. And so, to my point, it's hard to stomach, but in single family, if it's an empty lot, it's going to be $26.14 per unit. But if you're tearing down an old place, you get that square footage credit as well. So, okay, that's all my questions and comments.
Mayor Middleton, do you have any questions or comments?
None at this time, thank you.
Okay. So my comment is, when I look at this table, I still see that we are, even if we did approve this, when we look at, compare it to City of Roseville, City of Ranch Grove, Folsom, Sacramento County, still pretty darn competitive. And even though, when you look at West Sacramento, that was a scale between 1,640 and 8,364 versus 2,614. I still think that this is very, very competitive with other areas of the region. So that's all I have to comment on.
Yeah, we're still very low, actually. compared to other
Yes.
regional areas, so, okay.
Can I entertain a motion?
I don't have all the whereases in front of me, but I move approval, oh, thank you. So I would move to adopt the resolution of the City Council of the City of Citrus Heights to adopt the new multimodal impact fee, nexus study, and update the multimodal impact fee as presented.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Councilmember Bruins and a second by Councilmember Miller. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Bruins?
Aye.
Councilmember Daniels?
No.
Councilmember Miller?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Schaefer?
Yes.
And Mayor Middleton?
Aye.
Okay, next item, please. Okay, let's go to the fire impact, correct?
Park.
Oh, parks, sorry, parks is next. So, any comments or questions on the park impact fee from council?
Yeah, this one's really hard for me to support. It's hard to see that we are so far behind the rest of the region, yet an increase of this magnitude, I think, is too much. So I think, Tim, you were the one who asked earlier if we could do
Phase in?
a phase-in. And I think that would be a better way to do this. Do we know how much money is in the park impact fee account at this time?
Yes, 225,000.
Okay. And how high has it been? How high has it gone before how does that relate to the maximum amount that we've had in that budget?
I don't have that information, but I know just historically what we've seen in the last couple of years with some of the development that we have over at Mitchell Village, we've had an influx of revenue for that account as well as for roadway impact.
Okay. So, let me come back to me in a second, but I'm going to do a calculation here.
Okay. Councilmember Daniels, do you have any comment?
Yeah, sorry about that. Again, this is a difficult thing for me because we're putting on the shoulders of people coming in, moving into our city, an extra fee, in addition to what they're going to pay in property taxes like you and I pay. And you and I'll just take my own example. So I pay property taxes based on my home that I bought 21 years ago. And it's gone up a very small amount each year, for tax purposes. Whereas people are coming into our city now, and people that are buying the same home that I am in my development, where I paid $192,000 for it, are paying now between $500,000 and $600,000 for it. So they're already going to be paying a whole lot more in property taxes, and some of that property tax then goes towards parks. And then the flip side of it is, I'll say this, that because these people have to pay this extra fee, doesn't mean that they're going to enjoy these parks. My wife and her friends now go often over to Gum Ranch Park because they want a safe experience. They want a very fun experience. Our citizens don't feel that right now. And I think until we get that under control, I don't know how we ask people to pay more money for our parks.
Brett, are you saying that when you move to Citrus Heights, you pay this fee? Because I thought it was only if you built a new home or bought a new home.
Well, I bought a new home.
You
So
did.
I don't know.
You
I don't
did.
know what I did 21 years ago fee-wise. I'm saying that I pay property taxes though every year, like
Right.
you do, and some of that property tax goes towards parks, I believe, doesn't it?
Sure it does. But I bought a used house, so I never did pay this fee.
Well,
and-
someone paid a fee.
And most of
along-
our houses-
Somewhere,
Yeah,
prior to you buying a,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, but not every time you move to Citrus Heights. I just
no,
wanted to
I
clarify
don't
that.
understand your question, why you think that?
Because that's what Brett said, every time you move to Citrus Heights, you pay this fee, and it's not true.
Oh, I don't think you meant that, did you, Brett?
Well, that's why I was asking, and I don't,
It's a development impact fee,
Right.
so it's on new development, yes.
Right.
right,
So-
that's all I wanted
Okay,
to clarify.
so, I tell you. You ready?
Go ahead.
So, thank you. So we're talking about an increase in a fee that's, we've been charging $1,078 for the last 23 years, and jumping it up by over $5,000 per single-family unit. That's what I'm basing mine on, because I think that's where the biggest hurt is. That's a direct drop to the bottom line cost of building a new house in Citrus Heights. That's going to increase, it's going to have a direct impact on what the person who built that house for sells it for, if they're a speculator, or what their cost is going to be to themselves if they plan to live in that house. So I understand that we need to raise the fee. $1,000 doesn't cut it, it's not enough. However, I'm going to suggest that we phase that in at $1,000 a year over the next 5 years. So that it's not such a, so that it gets to where we want it to be, but it isn't such a hard hit at this time, because we've all said, this is a hard time to do anything like this, based on just the price of gas, if nothing else, so. Okay, those are my thoughts.
Mayor Middleton, any comments?
No.
May I just amplify that? So if you take that model, if we do agree on that as the way to do it, then we would apply incrementally that, whatever the amount is across the board to the other three types of residential units. So mobile homes, 5 units, 5 plus and 2 to 4. And then I also would suggest that we do the same thing on the per square foot for the commercial side. Phase it in.
Councilmember Bruins, if you're going to make a motion to that effect, we'll want to be very specific, because the resolution's been drafted as a certain format, right?
Right.
We can amend that resolution as on the fly tonight, but I think we'd want for staff to be very clear and for the public to be very clear what
What the
that
resolution-
motion is. I'm looking at Exhibit B2, which sets the park's impact fee. And so if you're saying a percentage increments of over 5 years or however many years, but I
Okay,
want to be
so,
specific about that.
Yeah, so that's a good point. So let me think about that. And I wasn't ready for a motion, but if I were to make a motion, it would be something like to adopt a resolution adopting a park impact fee that would increase by 20% per year for the next 5 years. That would bring us up to using the single-family unit as the model.
Okay, and to get to the max rates, I guess to the rates that are listed in Exhibit B after that 5th year, but then there's also provision in the resolution that thereafter, the CIP increases
With it.
Based on
would,
inflation.
so in year 6, we just have whatever, 2 or 3%.
Right, so after that, we would just do CIP, yes.
I think that's
Whatever
fair.
that, so,
I think I got it. That makes sense.
yeah, so looking at the 2 to 4 unit, you're going from 800 to 4722. So again, 1/5, basically 1/5 of that difference per year until we reach that maximum, and by, adjusted by inflation thereafter. Does that make sense to you?
Correct, so we wouldn't adjust for inflation in the meantime, because you're already doing those 20% increments.
Exactly.
It'd be after.
Exactly.
I'm clear, and I
I
think,
think that's a big enough
Casey is
jump
too.
as it is, so.
So, Anything else, Steve?
No, that's a very
So-
creative solution to
Yeah.
the issue.
So I just want to make this comment. When I first read this, I went, oh my gosh, number one, we haven't updated this in a really long time. And I just lost my train of thought here. I wondered about the existing development like Mitchell Farms and how was that all managed? And when I actually met with Dave Mitchell, the director of the Parks Department, and I was delighted to find out that was already all kind of worked out with the part of the development over there. So they didn't escape this. As a matter of fact, they paid, according to Dave, about $7,500 per unit to develop the park over in that area. And he did mention that they are a little short on funding to finish that park, so they'll eventually finish it. This may not be immediately. So from that perspective, nobody's escaping this. I do certainly support the motion that Jeannie made, and I will, I'll second that.
So I guess I made a motion. Okay.
So no guessing,
Okay.
did you or didn't you?
I move whatever I said before.
That's what I thought.
Thank you for a second.
And we'll roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Bruins?
Aye.
Councilmember Daniels?
No.
Councilmember Miller?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Schaefer?
Aye.
And Mayor Middleton?
Aye.
Okay.
Moving on to the next item, next motion, the fire facilities impact fee. Do I hear a motion?
Can we take both these together that I'm seeing here? Would you like them separate, Ryan?
Separate, please, because one is a resolution relating to the impact fee. This is actually a unique one that it's an ordinance because of the unique relationship with Sac Metro
we're gonna
Fire.
have a
So this is
second
just the
reading.
first reading.
Got it.
When we do if it passes, we do a second reading at the next meeting, that's when you'll have another resolution adopting the fees
Got it.
associated with it.
So I'll just move to adopt a resolution for the Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District Capital Facilities Impact Fee Study.
I'll second it.
And roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Bruins?
Aye.
Councilmember Daniels?
Aye.
Councilmember Miller?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Schaefer?
No.
And Mayor Middleton?
Aye.
Well, glad that's done.
So I will move to introduce for the first reading, read by title only, and to waive the full reading of an ordinance of the City Council of City of Citrus Heights related to fire capital facilities impact fee.
Second.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Bruins?
Aye.
Councilmember Daniels?
Aye.
Councilmember Miller?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Schaefer?
No.
And Mayor Middleton?
Aye.
Okay, next item, please.
The next item is regular calendar, item number 10. The subject is consideration of Economic Development Support Fund grant request by Royal Stage. The recommendation is to adopt a resolution approving a $25,000 economic development grant to Royal Stage from the Economic Development Support Fund, Part 1.
Good evening, Mayor Middleton and members of City Council. I am Megan Huber, Economic Development and Communications Manager for the City of Citrus Heights. You just had a really robust discussion on impact fees, and we're going to flip the script a little bit. The two items before you now for consideration relate to both our economic development and community support programming. We'll be highlighting some really great things being done by really great organizations here hyperlocally in our community. So first up, and give me just a minute to start driving here. The first item before you is a consideration of a grant request from our Economic Development Support Fund. For those in the audience and viewing at home, the Economic Development Support Fund that the City of Citrus Heights offers provides grants to businesses and economic development-related organizations for events, marketing, promotions, and other economic development-related activities. The program has really specific goals to promote economic development, including promoting targeted areas like our Sunrise Marketplace. Definitive projected outcomes must be outlined in each application, ensuring that a diverse investment is leveraged from multiple sources for project funding, making sure the project is sustainable and that there is a public community benefit. Your Economic Development Department received a grant request from Royal Stage, a performing arts nonprofit. They have submitted a grant request in the amount of $25,000. You may have seen via a recent Sacramento Business Journal that Royal Stage has signed a lease at our very own Sunrise Mall to convert an existing retail space into a performance space that they can also utilize for rehearsals and the like. If awarded, this grant would be used for construction-related costs as well as marketing and programming for the new space. And I would like to note that the program guidelines define that these types of expenses are reimbursement style. We took a look if this grant request meets the program goals per the program guidelines. It was also presented to the Finance Committee, who reviewed the request on June 15th and recommended full amount for approval. You can see here how the specific request meets program goals. For example, the goal of attracting new shoppers. This new addition to the mall will host parents and caregivers, dropping off participants and hopefully staying, shopping, and dining. It will also promote our Sunrise Mall and Sunrise Marketplace, infuse arts and culture into this existing retail environment, and also achieve Sunrise Tomorrow's specific plan goals of diversifying uses at our 100-acre mall site. As I mentioned, the Finance Committee recommends City Council approve the resolution and the full amount for $25,000 from the Economic Development Support Fund grant program. And with that, I will open it up for any questions.
Councilmember Miller?
I would like to move the item. Are there any comments?
I have a question.
Vice Mayor Schaefer, I just wanted to check to see if there was any public comments on this.
Thank you very much. So I'd like to ask for public comments.
And for viewers on Zoom, if you would like to speak, please use the raise hand function.
Comment card?
Okay,
Oh, looks like we've got a
we have some.
few to comment.
Hi, my name's Tammy. I'm the founder of Royal Stage, and I just wanted to say that our performance spaces have been nomadic for the past decade, floating between schools and churches and even parking lots throughout Sacramento County. So we are beyond thrilled to have secured the space in the Sunrise Mall and hopefully contribute positively to your economy. I brought my attorneys with me this evening.
Very good.
This is Emery, Gabriel, and Charlotte, and they had a few words to share.
Hi, my name is Emery. I've been attending Royal Stage for 7 years now. I started at ballet and have been taking various classes throughout the years. I started plays in January 2021 where I was casted in Annie. I fell in love with performing and have been in various plays since. We are currently working on Aladdin. I love the chance to meet new friends and build relationships. I love everything Royal Stage has to offer. I can't wait for our new theater. Thank you for your support.
There you go. Thank you.
The first time I met Royal Stage was when I saw the play Into the Woods, and I loved it. And I knew my cousin Emery was in Annie, so I asked my mom if I could be at the next play, Peter Pan. And I nailed the part Michael in Peter Pan. And I had been in every play since. And the directors are so loving, accepting, and kind. And I learned how to sing, dance, and tap dance, which is very new to my family. And I found my passion at Royal Stage. I can't wait for the new space for other great actors. I've been doing Royal Stage for many years now, and recently it's been hard for Royal Stage to find a place to perform plays. The usual place we perform at started renting out to a school, so we could only do recitals there. This was definitely a motivation to find our own space that we wouldn't have to worry about only be able to do it on specific days. And although we have found a space, it's costing a lot more money than we can put into one thing. So getting a grant would be more than appreciated.
It's okay.
Close the public, any other comments? I'll close the public hearing. Questions and comments from council?
I just want to make a comment. I'm on one of the council members on the finance committee, and this is an unusual request. We haven't had one quite like this before, and I'm pleased that we have the ability to vote, if we vote to approve it, the entire amount they've asked for. I think this is a really good example of innovative reuse. Not only will it bring something new to Citrus Heights that we don't have right now, which is a performing arts center that children will participate in, and I'm sure adults along the way as well. But this is an established, Royal Stage is an established entity. It's not a startup. Someone who's been around for at least 10 years, so I think that speaks well for them. And also, this type of a venue will be able to change and grow with us as we start to implement the Sunrise Tomorrow. So this has got so many positives, and I just don't see any negatives to it. So I'm really happy they're here tonight. Thank you for speaking.
Mayor Middleton?
I'm really excited to have this opportunity come to our city. As Jeannie said, we both sit on the finance committee, and it was a wonderful opportunity for us to have this in our communities.
Councilmember Daniels?
Oh, it's a great thing. It's a great use of the property also, but it's also a great thing and involving kids and whatnot, and I support it completely.
So I have a question for Megan. So this grant is a reimbursement grant?
Reimbursement style.
So they have to spend the money and then they can get reimbursed for it?
Submit invoices and we'll cut a check immediately.
And they have the financial wherewithal to spend the money first and get reimbursement for it?
I would not be able to speak directly to that.
Okay,
I do know that they are a nonprofit.
okay. I've been in that exact situation, and you get awarded funding and then you can't fund it. It's really difficult. So is there any other option besides that, or is that just the guidelines of the grant?
Well, I would defer to our city attorney on that quick question. We have program guidelines. Ryan, is there a council action that would allow that requirement to be modified?
I think we could administratively modify the guidelines based on the direction we're hearing.
Or rather, administering the guidelines would take some time, but would we be able to motion an alternative to reimbursement here?
Here,
Yeah,
if-
I think the issue that is that's not what's technically on the agenda to do that. but- Did you have-
What is our usual turnaround on that, if everything's acceptable with receipts?
We're real fast.
That's what I thought. We're not
Yeah.
like the
Yes.
state or
Yep.
federal
We-
government.
So can they just send in an invoice to the city that this is what the bill is, that they don't have to pay the bill first? Before,
Yeah.
will the city,
Directly?
pay the invoice directly? Sorry,
Well, the term in the guidelines is reimbursement,
that makes it tough.
Okay.
and that is consistent with our other grant programs like the Activate Auburn facade improvement and similar.
So let's ask
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, the lady with the Royal Stage, if that will work for you.
Can I ask you to come up to the
Yeah,
microphone?
come to the mic, we can't hear you.
We went into this grant application knowing we would have to do some creative money shifting, but it is difficult, it is challenging. So if there was an amendment, it would be much appreciated, but if it's not possible due to tradition and other grant programs, we can make it work. But like you said, it is difficult, and we are going to have to get very creative in order to do it by reimbursement. But we're fine either way.
Okay.
If we had a turnaround of less than a week, would that work?
Yes,
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
that's good.
And a quick note for council, I would be the one facilitating that. So I am accountable for the quick paperwork.
Okay.
All right.
I'm on the hook.
Do we have a motion?
I would like to motion, this is very exciting to have,
Yes.
have them come to our city. And like Jeannie said, I think this will play into, hopefully this is a long-term home for you, and will play into the Sunrise Tomorrow redevelopment of that area, and hopefully you'll be part of that as that occurs. So very exciting. I make a motion to approve.
Have a
Second.
Not all at once here. I'm going to give it to Middleton here, to the mayor. So may I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Bruins,
Aye.
Councilmember Daniels,
Aye.
Councilmember Miller,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Schaefer,
Aye.
and Mayor Middleton.
Aye.
All right, may I have the next item, please?
Next item is regular calendar, item 11. The subject is allocation of fiscal year 22-23 community support funding. The recommendation is to approve community support funding award allocations for fiscal year 22-23.
Good evening again, Mayor Middleton and City Council members, Megan Huber, Economic Development and Communications Manager. The second item for consideration before you this evening is our annual allocation of community support funding. And this will apply to fiscal year 22-23. For those unfamiliar, this is annual limited one-time funding for nonprofit organizations in Citrus Heights that provide services to residents of our community. This coming fiscal year, there is a little over $147,000 available in the Community Support Fund. We launched the application period earlier this month, and 5 applications were received. The Finance Committee reviewed the applications and the scope for the program on June 15th and recommended funding all applications. Unique this year, it's the first time this program has been undersubscribed. So the total the total tally of applications is a little over 134,000, which leaves about 9,000 available in the fund should all be approved. The Finance Committee also recommended relaunching an application period in 90 days with the remaining funds to the current applicants. So would like to have you keep that in mind as we're reviewing applications and what the scope looks like. As I mentioned, 5 applications were received, and we'll go through the highlights of those right now. We received an application from Citrus Heights Marching Band. The requested amount is $8,000 that will be utilized for rehearsal performances and operating costs for Citrus Heights Marching Band. The second is from Campus Life that operates our Sayonara Center in the amount of $15,000 for operations. The third is Meals on Wheels for $94,500. This provides meals to 305 Citrus Heights seniors this year. That's the projected amount. The fourth application was from Single Mom Strong in the amount of $15,000. This is a one-time project to fund their daycare expansion and associated construction costs. And finally, a request from Sunrise Christian Food Ministry in the amount of $2,450. I would like to note that this amount is city manager approval, so this item has already been approved, but we wanted to include it here on this scope to make sure we recognize Sunrise Christian Food Ministry for the good work that they're doing and that we are able to contribute. And that will be used specifically for equipment replacement and enhancement. So as mentioned, the total grant funding requests are in the amount of in excess of $134,000, of that over $147,000 remaining. So as I mentioned, the Finance Committee recommended full approval of the requested amounts for community support funding in fiscal year 22-23. And with that, I'll open it up for any questions.
Great. I will open it up for public comment, and I have some speaker cards here for this. And do we have any raised hands or comments as well?
We do have a couple of raised hands. I do not have any written comments, but if you'd like to take the speakers that are here in the audience, and then we'll go take the Zoom
Take the
participants.
speakers here first. So can I see at the podium Cody Tickner, please?
Good evening. Thank you so much for your continued support of the Citrus Heights Community Marching Band. Our program was created by Kathy Cook 17 years ago, and the city has been our biggest partner in support during that mission. The band has members all performing and giving their time free. Our youngest is 6 years old, oldest is 91 years old. And we have been so excited to resume operations during this challenging time. And we understand how hard it is to support performing arts despite everything that, we spoke about earlier and that's going on in the world. And, we recognize that our band members, of which are in the neighborhood of 65 to 70 members strong, are spending a tremendous amount of gas and family time to come be part of our program that the city has supported. And we hope to make this investment worthwhile for years to come with the events that we coordinate here in Citrus Heights, such as our Halloween Parade and Harvest Festival, which is on for this year. And we're just excited to continue growing and continue representing the city as one of the performing arts, points of the world.
Excellent.
And I'm joined by my program director, Bill Cook, and my band manager, Sarah Schmelzer.
Welcome.
Looking good.
Thank you.
Thank you. So Julie Habib, would you come up to the podium, please?
Good evening. My name is Julie Habib, and I am the site director at the Sayonara Center. We just completed our 10th school year in the Citrus Heights Children and Youth Building. Thank you for making that a possibility. The students experienced a rough start to their school year as they adjusted back to being in person. But with our consistent volunteers and staff, the center's after-school hours transitioned back to normal. With students working on their homework, playing games, painting, baking, reading, and more, the Sayonara Center was filled with joy again. For the first time, we had our own basketball team and played in a league in Sacramento for our middle school and high school students. We had 9 students on the team, and 2 of our high school students were the coaches. Our students worked together to practice and train for the 8 weeks of Friday night games. It was fun to see them working together versus playing and competing against one another. They came together well, and because of their discipline, we won the championship. This past year, we helped our students get their first jobs, their driver's license, carve pumpkins as a family in our parking lot, ask a date to prom, and 5 students graduated from high school, as well as keeping our normal center traditions. Last week, we took 15 middle school students to Santa Cruz for 4 days. We played at the beach, the boardwalk, competed in team challenges, and heard from guest speakers. For many of our students, it was their first time being away from home. It's such an honor to create these memories with them, and it wouldn't be possible without the support from each of you. We thank you for your partnership, trust, and generosity. Thank you.
So April Janik.
Hi, thank you. I'm April Jasek. I'm the volunteer coordinator over at Sunrise Christian Food Ministry. Next year marks our 40th year serving this community. Pre-COVID, we were seeing about 70 families a day line up, single file, to come get resources at our center. Now we're up to about 120, 130 families a day, and we've switched to a drive-through model. And it's through support like yourselves that make our work possible, and we just appreciate everything that this community is doing to raise us up so we can raise up those that need us the most. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay. Ready for, there were some comments?
Yes, I do have 2 raised hands in Zoom, and I will call their names. And the first one is Tara Taylor. So you can unmute yourself to speak for 3 minutes.
Perfect, thank you. Thank you, council and staff and guests for allowing me to speak. I apologize for not being physically present. I am sick and don't want to share my germs. But I wanted to take a moment and thank you for your continued partnership. This month actually marks our 3rd year in Citrus Heights. And we've been able to both celebrate and mourn our first group of students graduating out of our preschool and heading on to school. We're really proud to have stayed open throughout the pandemic, never closing our doors, and providing childcare for those who needed to continue to go to work to provide for their families. And we're really excited to be expanding into the next door suite to add the final components of our preschool and childcare program, infant and toddler care, which are so crucial, especially now after the pandemic closed so many childcare centers. And our final piece of our workforce development programming, our our career clothing closet, providing professional clothing to single mothers for free. So I just wanted to again thank you. Without your support, the increased construction costs would have been really stressful to scrape together. So thank you again for your partnership, and we are excited to continue to grow within the city.
Wonderful, thank you, Tara.
And our next speaker is Jennifer Masello. And you can now unmute yourself to speak.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your recommendation of full funding of the Meals on Wheels program. The past couple of years of COVID have been really challenging, not just for our program, but for everyone. Our yearly program, overall scope, we were serving about 490,000 meals yearly prior to COVID. This last 2 years with COVID, that went up to over 600,000 meals per year. 627,000 last year before, and 647,000 last year. We served 42,058 meals to 414 Citrus Heights seniors last year. So your support and guidance of our program is really crucial and very much appreciated. You know, we just heard how much costs were increasing, and Meals on Wheels is no different. We found that our fuel costs have jumped over $1,000 in the past couple months. And our meal costs are projected to triple sometime in the next year. For the first time in 12 years, we are asking for a slight increase in the meal reimbursement rate from the traditional $2.82 that we've had since Meals on Wheels began to the $3.25 that we're proposing this year. It would serve that same number of meals that we proposed last year, 29,057 meals, but allows us to stretch those dollars and pay for a little bit more at the meal. So anyway, thank you again for your support. We really appreciate it, and we really appreciate that full funding recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that concludes the raised hands that I have in Zoom.
Is there anyone else in the audience who'd like to speak? Okay, I'll close the public hearing. And I will entertain a motion.
Vice Mayor Schaefer, can you turn your microphone on?
Sorry. Comments from council?
I just want to say it was a joy to be able to recommend that we give the full funding request. First time since I've been on the council that we've had that opportunity. It's always been painful in the past where we've had to make a decision where we would cut the requests since they were all worthy. So with that in mind, I would like to approve the resolution approving the community support. I move that we approve the resolution approving the community support funding allocations for the next fiscal year.
Do I have a second?
I will second.
May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Bruins?
Aye.
Councilmember Daniels?
Aye.
Councilmember Miller?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Schaefer?
Aye.
And Mayor Middleton?
Aye.
All right. Next item, please.
Next item is regular calendar, item number 12. The subject is fiscal years 21-22 and 22-23 mid-cycle budget review, financial forecast update, and appropriations limit for fiscal year 22-23. The recommendation is to adopt a resolution approving amendments to the fiscal year 22-23 budget and establishing an appropriation limit for fiscal year 22-23.
Okay. Good evening. I am Bill Zanoni, the Interim Administrative Services Director. I have the pleasure of having here with me tonight the Finance Division A team, or Brain Trust, Raj Prasad, our Accounting Manager, and Tammy Nasardi, our Finance Manager. They both worked very closely on all of this information that we're going to go through this evening. And also, we have someone new in the front row that the city manager will introduce to you shortly, but we have Susan Talwar here, who's our new official administrative services director, but I won't take Ash's thunder on that one.
I'm just going to add just a couple of quick comments. This is, and we'll talk more about it at the city manager updates, but this is Bill Zanoni's last presentation with us tonight on budget, and so we're going to talk more about Bill when I get to my city manager updates, and really appreciative of his good work with our team, with Raj and Tammy and the entire team, and then also really excited to have Susan Talwar as our new Administrative Services Director, but we'll talk more about that in a bit. But turn it back over to Bill.
Thank you. So this evening, we are going to talk about our mid-cycle budget review. Well, I think we are. And the items that we're going to discuss with you this evening, hopefully not take too much time. We're going to give you an update on the fiscal year 21-22 budget. We're going to talk about some proposed adjustments to the second year of the two-year budget for fiscal year 22-23. We're going to provide you with an update on the 10-year financial forecast. We're going to walk through briefly the annual appropriations limit that council has to approve every year. And then just as an aside, all of this information was reviewed, I think, in a fair amount of detail with the Finance and Administration Committee last week on June 15th. So we can start with the fiscal year 21-22 budget. Just as a reminder, the City Council adopted a two-year budget in April of last year. The budget was for 2 fiscal years in February. The council approved went through a mid-year budget review, and now we're halfway through that budget cycle, so we're going to let you know where we are this year, where we think we're going to be next year. And the bottom line of the story is, I think, it's good news. So for fiscal year 21-22, for the general fund, the budget as it currently exists provides for revenue of $35.2 million, expenditures of $37.3 million, and a withdrawal from reserves of $2.1 million. And just as a reminder how we got to that negative $2.1 million, the budget for this year that you adopted a year ago was balanced. I think it had a projected shortfall of about $80,000. We did some adjustments at mid-year, increased revenues, increased expenditures. The big adjustment was in March when the City Council approved repaying the line of credit. So when we repaid the line of credit this year, we increased the budget by $3.5 million. So that's why you see a negative budgeted withdrawal from reserves of $2.1 million. As of this morning, our general fund revenues totaled $31.3 million, so we're about 89% of where we want to be by the end of the year, just to reach our budget. The main revenue that we haven't received yet is sales tax. We receive sales tax 2 months in arrears. So right now we have received sales tax revenue through March. We'll continue to get revenue for the next several months that'll add to this. For expenditures, our actual expenditures in the general fund as of today are $32.2 million, so we're about 86% of budget. And you can see that right now, general fund expenditures exceed revenues by about $878,000, which means we're drawing down reserves to cover that. But the reason for that is the repayment of the line of credit. So our projection for the end of the fiscal year is that our general fund revenues will total about $35.8 million. Even though our fiscal year ends June 30th, we continue for 60 days through the end of August to record revenue that comes in for this year, and also to record expenses, payments that are related to expenses for this year. So we're almost to the end of June, but we'll still be recording transactions for a couple of more months. Our projected revenue is about 1.7% 2.5% over what our budget is. That equates to about $592,000. And our expenditures, based on where we are right now, we think will be about $34.4 million, about 92% of the budgeted amount, and we'll walk through a second what makes that up. But we think we will have an under expenditure of about $2.9 million this fiscal year. So what makes up those differences on the revenue side? We are anticipating just a little bit under $600,000 of additional revenue over what we budgeted this year. Those include sales tax revenue. Our sales tax, the local economy so far is still performing very well. We met with our sales tax consultant about a month or so ago, and they are continuing to forecast a strong local economy for Citrus Heights, and so we are increasing our projected sales tax revenue by $195,000. Property transfer tax is coming in higher than budgeted by about $50,000. Building fees, we anticipated when the budget was prepared last year that we've seen for the last 2 years a significant increase in building activity. We thought that that would level out this year. It is in fact continuing. That won't go on forever, but for this year, we're anticipating about another $329,000 over the budgeted amount. About $100,000 in motor vehicle license fees over what we had originally anticipated, and then some other minor adjustments on the negative side. But the net overall is just under $600,000 of additional general fund revenue. On the expenditure for the general fund, we think we will end this year when we close the books with an under expenditure of about $2.9 million. The largest portion of that is labor cost savings of $2.2 million. We have already completed 25 of our 26 pay periods for this fiscal year, so we have one more pay period to go, so we're pretty confident that this is a good number. This is due to position vacancies and the time it takes to fill those positions. And the major portion of that $2.2 million, about $1.6 million is attributable to the police department. So thank you. The other $600,000 is spread amongst operating cost savings we have about 33 general fund department, division, program budgets, and amongst all of those, just program line item savings amongst all of those we think will be about $600,000. So we're in a good position, we think, ending this fiscal year, going into 22-23. I want to just take a step back and talk about the budget that was adopted originally last year. So the second year of the two-year budget anticipated revenue of $40.4 million, expenditures of $30.6, and the budget that you adopted reflected a projected deposit to reserves of about $3.7 million. The current budget, if you'll recall, in March when you approved the payoff of the line of credit, we had originally budgeted nothing this year, $2 million next year, and $1.5 million in fiscal year 24-25, 23-24. When you approved the line of credit payment, you took $2 million out of next year's budget, moved it into this year's budget. So you reduced the 22-23 budget by that $2 million. By doing that, the budgeted deposit to reserve increased by $2 million for next year. So that's how we got to the $5.7 million. Started off at 3.7, moving the line of credit out of next year's budget brought it up to 5.7. Okay. Based on the information that we have available to us right now, we believe that our sales tax, or our total revenue general fund next year will be about $1.7 million higher than what was projected a year ago, April, when this budget was put together. The two largest components of that are sales tax and property tax. Next year is the first year the city will get to keep its property tax revenue under the tax sharing agreement with Sacramento County. So we've increased our sales tax projection for 21-22. That's our base, and we're increasing next year to match that. So we're anticipating about $523,000 of sales tax, additional sales tax revenue next year. We are, property tax was budgeted for next year at about a little over $6.4 million. The estimates that we have right now are that the city will receive $6.9 million in property tax revenue for its first year next year, and that money will come in about half in probably late December, early January, and most of the other half in May, and then a little cleanup in end of the year. Other adjustments are to property transfer tax. We think that that even though the market is changing, based on what we've seen this year, we think we will see another $130,000 next year. We'll watch that closely. Building permits, the Community Development Department is confident that their building permit typically our building permit revenue is in normal previous times was around $1 million a year. We've spiked way up. And we budgeted $1 million next year. They're projecting that it's going to come down from this year, but that it will be about $1.3 million, I believe, next year. Motor vehicle in lieu fees go up as in the same percentage that we see our assessed value in the city go up. So we're looking at about another $700,000 there. And then some reductions in red light camera, fine revenue, community center rentals. When we put the budget together, we anticipated that by next year, the community center would be back to operating at pre-COVID level. We're seeing the revenue come up, but it's not coming up yet to where it was before. So we're bringing that estimate down, and then just some other minor adjustments of $18,000. And the net of that is an overall budget increase to revenues of $1.7 million. We've got some adjustments that we're asking council to consider to general fund expenditures for next year. The first is an increase into the information technology budget of $50,000, and that is for software license costs. City uses a number of different software programs to do all of the activities that we do in all of the departments. Those costs have increased and are continuing to increase. So we are asking for $50,000 for that. As you'll recall, at mid-year this year, we increased the risk management budget for general liability insurance costs and workers' comp costs. The liability insurance industry for cities nationwide has become very difficult, and as a result, every city, this is insurance you have to have, but the premiums have gone up, and insurance is getting harder and harder to get. So we increased this year's 21-22 budget at mid-year by $610,000. The 22-23 budget was developed anticipating the same base as 21-22 before we increased it. So this is catching next year up, and based on the information we've received from our insurance carrier, these are the numbers that we will have to pay next year. So the total is $765,000. The police department is asking for an increase, a net increase of $16,000. Police department has been impacted significantly by the increased fuel costs. Their fuel budget next year is going to be about $108,000 more than what was budgeted. So an increase of $800,000, and then a reduction of about $92,000 in our red light camera contract costs. So the net is about $16,000. For the General Services Department, engineering uses district fleet for the work that they do, and their fuel costs are going up also. For community events, we're asking to increase the community events budget next year by $67,000. That will fund costs associated with the Sunday Fun Day event, with the marching band parade, the Patriot Parade, and those activities. So we're asking to put those dollars in. The city has our three community centers. We've looked at what the actual operating costs are, and for those three centers overall, just to match up the budget to what we're seeing for actual operating costs, another $46,000. And then the big reduction is in the non-departmental budget, and that is, excuse me, interest on the line of credit. We budgeted interest this year for next year, when we're going to just pay off a portion of the line of credit next year. Since it's all paid off, you don't have to pay that. So those are dollars that we don't have to spend, and we can take them out of the budget. The net of all those is a net increase of $600,000. So when we put all of those together, the budget for 22-23, as it was amended with the line of credit payoff, provided a deposit to general fund reserves of $5.6 million, with our anticipated additional revenue of 1.7 and our additional costs, if council approves those, we would recommend that the budget be amended, and it would reflect a year-end deposit next fiscal year of about $6.8 million into general fund reserves. That's any questions on that?
I think I'll wait till the end. Are you about done, or is it?
I've got to go into the other funds.
Just
That's
had a
the general
question.
fund.
Are we projecting in the proceeds from the sale of the property?
We are not. We are not.
Okay.
Not at this point. So, okay?
What's that?
And we'll get into that when we get to the 10-year forecast, okay? So in addition to the general fund, the city has the American Rescue Plan Act Fund, and the city council actually discussed these items at your meeting last month. I think we mentioned that we did receive our second payment, so we've received all $15.6 million that we were allocated. The money's in the bank, locked up, safe. What we are proposing is a budget amendment consistent with your discussion last month to, at this point, appropriate $2.9 million of that American Rescue Plan Act funding for 4 different activities. That would be $875,000 for the city beautification crew, $50,000 for Citrus Heights Block Party Trailer, and then $2 million would go for the police department, $1.4 million for police department replacement vehicles, and $600,000 for updates to the Public Safety Communications Center. And those items are both following this one on your agenda this evening. So what we're asking for the American Rescue Plan Act Fund is that you appropriate $2.9 million in revenue, $2.9 million in expenditures, in addition to the $2.8 million that we have already budgeted next year for the police department staffing in the second year. Okay. The last group of funds are the other city funds. We have about 45 funds total in the city. We're proposing, and each of these funds has their own source of revenue. They maintain their own fund balances. We've got funds in 3 departments: community development, general services, and the police department, where we are proposing adjustments to both revenues and expenditures to more closely align with what the activities in these funds are. The community development funds are housing, grant, and then grant funds. General services, it's the Measure A road maintenance fund, the transit fund, solid waste, roadway, and then a new assessment district that we have is the Mitchell Village Assessment District. And then adjusting 2 grant funds in the police department. And so this has no impact on the city's general fund. These are separate funds, but it's matching what we think our revenues with what we think our expenditures will be.
Question? So, Bill, on the COPS grant fund that we're removing that 66.5?
Yes,
Is
we are.
that
We're
like-
removing that because that grant will be fully expended by the end of this fiscal year.
Okay.
Okay? Any questions on the budget?
No, thank you.
So then moving forward to the 10-year financial forecast, we last sat here in February and gave you an update on the 10-year forecast. And with this forecast, we look out, we look at the current year, and then we look 10 years forward. We've talked before that this is based on information currently available. We know that it's going to change. So what we're going to do this evening is give you an update, and then we'll most likely come back in the fall, September, October, and give you another update as we close out this fiscal year. So there's significant changes between what's in your packet tonight and what you saw in February. Our updated revenue projections for sales tax, property tax, and vehicle in lieu fees, and those match the adjustments that we've recommended to the budget. So those are increased revenues. We've also included in this updated forecast, updated labor costs based on the labor agreements that the council approved earlier or last calendar year. We've also continued to provide funding where we can for streets, keeping our reserves at what we feel is a fiscally responsible level. Council will recall the city's policy is that our reserves will never drop below a minimum of 17% of our general fund operating costs. For purposes of this exercise this evening, we've even though our policy is not to drop below 17%, we feel, we've discussed internally, and for purposes of the forecast, we felt that a fiscally responsible target level for reserves, especially given the uncertainty of the economy going forward, is that we target a reserve level of somewhere in the neighborhood of 25%. So we've kind of used that as our target, and any excess funds we've moved into the street line item. And then we've added one additional year. So this forecast now goes out through fiscal year 2031-32. So it's not drastically different from what you saw in February. We are still putting about $4 million a year into. What we have done is we've tried to keep our forecasted reserve balance closer to 25% rather than 7%. We just think that puts us in a better position if there were something to happen to the economy, or it gives the council flexibility if there are decisions you want to make down the road. But the numbers aren't drastically different from what you saw before. One number that I would point out is if you look at fiscal year 22-23, you can see that our ending reserve balance, our forecasted ending reserve balance will increase to $16.5 million. That assumes that we will see a 6.7 deposit into that reserve that we just went through. That is great news, but if you look at fiscal year 23-24, we are anticipating $4 million of that for Boulevard Phase. So you can see that our bottom line reserve balance is forecasted at $16.5 million at the end of 22. With 23-24 and a $4 million match for Auburn Boulevard, we're actually for that year, an operating shortfall. We draw down reserves a little bit, but we still end the year with reserves of about $13 million, which, based on these numbers, is about 28% of our budget. So it's a comfortable number, and we have not included in these numbers at this point anything for the sale of the Sylvan property. Okay. Questions? So moving forward then, this is something that the City Council does every year, and that is the annual appropriations limit. This has been going on since 1979, a result of Proposition 13, which probably a lot of people don't even remember what Proposition 13 is anymore, but subsequent to Proposition 13, the legislature passed Proposition 4 in 1979 and then amended it in 1990. It requires that every public agency annually calculate an appropriations limit. You adjust that every year based on changes in per capita income and population. This is an exercise that we go through. We calculate it, the City Council approves it, and then when the auditors come in, they review our calculation. So for Citrus Heights, our appropriations limit is just under $65 million. The appropriations that are subject to that limit are $36.5 million. So the bottom line is that we are operating well under our appropriations limit. So what we are asking the City Council to consider this evening are two resolutions. One would be a resolution approving amendments to the fiscal year 22-23 budget, and the second would be a resolution establishing an appropriations limit for fiscal year 22-23. And with that, Tammy, Raj, and I can hopefully answer any questions you might have.
Questions from council members?
You know, this is what I like about working with Bill is he explains it so well that I don't have any questions, and I know Raj and Tammy have a lot to do with that, so I don't want to discount your participation. But no, that's something I've enjoyed over the years is how you put the facts together and the figures and in a clean and understandable way. So it's been a pleasure working with you on this.
Thank you.
No questions.
Thank you.
Councilmember Daniels, do you have any questions?
Just some comments. Is that okay for now?
Absolutely.
Okay. Just a lot of numbers, a lot of good numbers. I think it was 2.9 over mill over this year, 1.75 for the next whatever. It's great. It's just absolutely wonderful. Again, it shows we're a vibrant, alive city, and we're moving in the right path. That's the best thing about Citrus Heights, and you got to love that. I have two concerns I saw with the numbers. One of them was the amount that was put forward for community events of only $67,000. I think that's something that we're going to have to revisit later or something, because we owe the community a little bit more than that, I think, in putting some stuff together. And then the other one.
I'm sorry,
was
if I
the-
could just add, that is in
Yes.
addition to the existing budget, so.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for that clarification. And then the other one that just, it just smacks you upside the head is the additional 765,000 on the risk management. And I don't know if things are going not the right way in Citrus Heights or what, but I would like to have back maybe some information on what kind of claims that we've had to put out and take care of over the last maybe 2 or 3 years. And if there's something going on, what we're doing maybe to mitigate that. And I understand this is an industry-wide issue, not just a Citrus Heights issue. But I mean, this is something that we've talked about before on, is there something else that we can do? Because this is just ridiculous, having to pay that amount of money out when you see what good we're doing tonight with other amounts of money and what more we could do if not having to do such a thing as pay that extra money. It's just becoming over the top ridiculous. But it was a great presentation, and I want to take the time to publicly thank Bill for all the things that he's done. He got kind of dropped in here and during a lot of good things and a lot of turmoil, and during a time when I can't imagine having to wrestle around with the things that he had to during the pandemic. And just I just really want to thank you for doing what you've done for us, and hope that you will come back and see us at times at least and whatnot. And know that you were very much appreciated for your time here, Bill.
Thank you.
Any comments, Jeannie? Okay. Comments from Mayor Middleton?
No, great job on the report.
And I just have just a really brief comment, and that is, I will reiterate that yes, we've been through a lot, and I'm glad we were able to come back together again. So well done. Wish you the best of luck, and with that, may I have a motion? Oh, public comment, yes. Oh, yes. Do we have any public comment?
I do not see any raised hands on Zoom.
Okay. Anyone here wish to speak? Okay, that being said,
So I move that we adopt a resolution approving amendments to the fiscal year 2022-2023 budget.
Second.
okay, I have a motion by Bruins, a second by Daniels. Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Bruins?
Aye.
Councilmember Daniels?
Aye.
Councilmember Miller?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schaefer?
Aye.
And Mayor Middleton?
Aye.
And then I'd also like to move that we adopt a resolution establishing the appropriations limit for fiscal year 22-23.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Bruins, a second by Daniels. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Bruins?
Aye.
Councilmember Daniels?
Aye.
Councilmember Miller?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schaefer?
Aye.
And Mayor Middleton?
Aye.
All right, next item, please.
Next item is regular calendar, item number 13. The subject is replacement of police department equipment critical needs and utilization of American Rescue Plan Act funds. The recommendation is to adopt a resolution authorizing the acquisition of police fleet vehicles and fleet equipment, and adopt a resolution authorizing the acquisition of Public Safety Communications Center critical needs.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. Alex Turcott, your Chief of Police. I promise this will be a quick item since we've discussed this a lot over the last year. We're asking for a resolution to expend ARPA funds based on council's direction and support to catch our fleet up to current replacement cycle. So it'll be, for clarity, it'll be 22 police vehicles whose replacements have been deferred in the past due to fiscal restraints. This will catch us up to our normal life cycle replacement of police vehicles. The second resolution is to enhance the infrastructure in our 911 communication center to make it more robust and prevent future failures, and as well as enhance the capabilities to deal with new technology and make sure that our 911 center is at the cutting edge of technology and there when we need it. So with that, unless there's any questions. Here we are.
Public comments? Any comments on this item?
And I do not see any raised hands on Zoom.
Any comments from the audience? Okay, very good.
I'll make a motion to, that we resolve to authorize the acquisition of 22 police vehicles for our fleet.
Do I have a second?
Second.
So do we need to take these one at a time? Okay. So that would be for A, adopt resolution 2022, resolution for the city council. The city sites for acquisition of police vehicles. So that was a motion by Miller. And a second by Daniels. Have a roll call, please.
Councilmember Bruins?
Aye.
Councilmember Daniels?
Aye.
Councilmember Miller?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schaefer?
Aye.
And Mayor Middleton?
Aye.
Okay. So I need a motion on that item B there.
I move that we authorize the acquisition of Public Safety Communications Center critical needs.
Second.
Second.
I have a motion by Miller, a second by Bruins. And a roll call, please.
Councilmember Bruins?
Aye.
Councilmember Daniels?
Aye.
Councilmember Miller?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schaefer?
Aye.
And Mayor Middleton?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Okay. Next item, please.
Thank you very much.
Next item is regular calendar, item number 14. The subject is proposal for beautification crew pilot program. The recommendation is to adopt a resolution authorizing the implementation of a beautification crew pilot program to be funded by American Rescue Plan Act funds through fiscal year 25-26.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, and City Manager Feeney. Regina Cave, General Services Director. And it is with great pleasure to bring this item before council this evening for consideration as a proposal for our beautification crew pilot program. This item is a direct result of the last couple years of direct communications we've had from the public, from the council, expressing concerns of blight that we see throughout our community that appears to be increasing. While we do have resources that we use through our General Services Department with our existing staff and our contractors, we would like to increase that response to the community and have a bigger impact on our neighborhoods and throughout our corridors by dedicating staff who can respond much more timely, in concert sometimes with our police department as well, and to be able to demonstrate to our community that we are listening, we understand your concerns, and we want to be here to help address the blight. As part of this program, we would be utilizing ARPA funds for the next 4 fiscal years. We would look to initiate our recruitment within the next few weeks with the expectation of having the program standing by this fall. And the program would also include a procurement of a vehicle that we would be working with Megan Huber's team to basically do a branding and awareness campaign throughout our community to help highlight not only what our crew will do, but also how we can collaborate with our stakeholders throughout our community. So if you don't have any other questions.
Questions or comments from council?
I just have one. I mean, I'm very, very excited about this, extremely excited about this. And the only thing I would say is that if we could fast track it a little better and hopefully get it up before the fall, I would really love to see that. Just it's such a high priority with our residents, our businesses, and what we're seeing out there. And we just don't want to see us move towards what we see in some other communities. So any way we can fast track it, please do. But very excited about that.
Okay, so I need to roll this back. I was actually supposed to ask for public comments before I took comments from council members. So I have one speaker card. Do we have any other raised hands or statements?
I do not have any raised hands. I do see a gentleman in the audience that would also like to speak too.
Great. I'll call you up. But I'd like to see Diane Ebbett at the podium, please.
Good evening. I almost hurt you, Vice Mayor. I've been here all this time and then to skip me? I'm ready to go home and go to bed. Okay, Mayor Middleton and council members. I'm Diane Ebbett Reilly, the Executive Director of the Citrus Heights Chamber of Commerce and the co-chair of the Auburn Boulevard Business Association. The Citrus Heights Chamber of Commerce and the Auburn Boulevard Business Association supports the recommendation for the city's new beautification program. Businesses and individuals tell the Chamber the city is not doing enough to combat the issues of the homeless camps and the blight spread by the homeless offenders. Residents are frustrated because they don't feel their voices are being heard, and we continue to see blight and destruction in our neighborhoods. Once the different programs are in place and start to work, businesses and residents will see a difference within the city, with prompt cleanup of camps, removal of debris and graffiti, and with the prosecution of chronic offenders, businesses and individuals will know their voices are being heard. When chronic offenders have their camps and debris cleared away, they will soon move to other locations outside of Citrus Heights. With the help from HEART and the Navigator program, the city will make efforts to help those that are disabled and get them off the streets and into treatment centers where they can become a functioning members of society. And I have to say, as a board member of HEART, we have seen this, and it really does work. The Navigator program is wonderful. Promoting the city's efforts and advocating community engagement, our businesses and residents will know their voices are being heard, and the city is making great efforts to beautify Citrus Heights. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next in the public comment. Alfred, okay.
If you want to talk, sure, but no, we'll let you.
You can fill it out after.
Yeah.
Hey, guys. It's me, Alfred.
Hi, Alfred.
I don't even know where to start here. Beautification project. Sounds very beautiful, and I know that a lot of people think that I'm just pro-homeless and they don't do anything wrong, but that's not necessarily.
Alfred, excuse me, can you hold the mic closer? We can't hear you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry.
That's so much.
So, people think, I'm pro-homeless and they don't do anything wrong, and that's not true. I mean, I'm out there and I see, it's a mess. So I will be doing my best to try and let them know that, hey, you guys got to clean up this, you guys got to clean up this. It's not cool. Another thing that I don't think was really mentioned this time was a standing approval for owners for property to serve trespass notices. You didn't really talk about it today, so I'm assuming you've talked about it before today. Okay. My only concern is that somehow we distinguish businesses that have asked for this from businesses that haven't. Does that make sense? You're all looking at me like I'm not making any sense, or you just want to go home, or?
Alfred, which "it" are you talking about when you said ask for this?
The standing approval for owners for police to serve trespass notices at properties.
So let me just, can I just
We
interrupt you here?
you didn't really mention it at this
Alfred,
presentation.
this is not an agendized item, and if we want to talk about, have a discussion about this specific item, it has to be agendized before the meeting. We can't get into discussions. You can make the comment, certainly, but we're not really permitted to engage in a conversation with you about something that's not agendized.
Okay. So I can make a comment then?
Absolutely.
Okay, my comment is that I just want to make sure that somehow we have the businesses that are asking for this service distinguished from businesses that aren't. Because I think it leads to a lot of just proactive policing that's unnecessary. But I understand everybody's frustration, so let's all try and live together here and make this a better community for everyone.
Great, thank you, Alfred.
Thank you, guys. How do you turn this off?
Good to see you.
Come on forward. Michael, did you want to come forward?
So thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm Mike Bullington, resident of Citrus Heights now for 39 years and a member of on the board for Citrus Heights Chamber of Commerce. And I'm here with Tammy Paraka, also another member, just to lend our support to the remarks made by Diane Ebbett. That's it.
Thank you. Did you want to speak? Come forward.
I guess a couple things I'm a little concerned with this is the budgeting. We have a lot of reserves, and the information that I read online didn't really have much detail. I'm assuming it's coming out of general fund, things like, I don't know where it's coming from and how it's being dictated, not dictated, but how it's being administered. But other than that, I'm excited for it to be beautiful in Citrus Heights and not allow this to continue on, because our business owners really do need the support. And you don't want to walk in to a business that does have defecation or garbage around. If the owner is not on site and they're getting not taxed, but what's the term? Fined. How is that going to be taken care of? Those are my only concerns.
Well, Tammy, the funding for this program is coming from our ARPA funds, from the stimulus funds we got from the federal government.
Okay.
So it's completely outside the general budget.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much.
All right. Any more public comment? Any raised hands? All right. Let's move on to, do we have a motion? Or, sorry, comments from council members.
Just excited to see how this rolls out and look forward to the first report once we've started to implement it.
Councilmember Miller?
I have no comments. I'll just move the item that we authorize the implementation of the Beautification Crew pilot program to be funded by the American Rescue Plan Act funds through fiscal year 25-26.
1 second. Mayor Middleton, do you have any comments?
No, but I'll second.
Okay, great. I have a motion by Miller and a second by Middleton. We have a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Bruins?
Aye.
Councilmember Daniels?
Aye.
Councilmember Miller?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Schaefer?
An enthusiastic aye.
And Mayor Middleton.
Aye.
Next item, please.
Next item is regular calendar, item number 15. The subject is resolution adopting amended salary table. The recommendation is to adopt a resolution adopting the amended salary table.
Good evening, Bill Zanoni, Interim Administrative Services Director. The City Council is required to maintain an updated council-approved schedule, which identifies all of our current pay rates for all city classifications. The city's salary table was last reviewed by the City Council in December of last year. And periodically, that table is brought back to council as we update position classifications or make changes to salaries, typically from approved labor negotiations. The item before you for consideration this evening reflects current classification titles, changes since you last saw this in December, and also adds a new executive management classification of economic development and community engagement director to the salary table. The salary for this classification is consistent with other department directors, executive staff pay ranges, which is in the range of $142,858 to $188,933. And this position will be subject to the same benefit packages as other executive staff. The requested action this evening will not increase the total authorized or budgeted staffing level above the 210 positions that are currently budgeted for this year and next year, and no budget adjustment is requested. So staff's recommendation is that the City Council adopt a resolution adopting an amended salary table.
Can I have a motion or comments from, sorry, any public comments on this item? Seeing none? Nope. Okay. Any comments or questions from council?
I move the item that we approve the newly adopted salary table.
Second.
Motion by Bruin, second by Miller. Can I have a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Bruins?
Aye.
Councilmember Daniels?
Aye.
Councilmember Miller?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schaefer?
Aye.
And Mayor Middleton?
Aye.
All right, next item, please.
Next item is Department Reports, number 16. The subject is Fireworks Enforcement and Operation Plan given by the Police Department.
Good evening, council. Mayor Middleton, Vice Mayor Schaefer, members of council, City Manager Feeney. Good evening. I am Lieutenant Jason Baldwin of the Citrus Heights Police Department. Tonight I'm going to be giving you a briefing on our 4th of July activities. I just need to share my screen. There we go. So going into the 4th of July weekend, we of course know it's a fairly large issue here in Citrus Heights with fireworks. We have already begun our social media messaging regarding safe and sane fireworks, responsible use, fireworks safety, keeping it legal, knowing the risks, when to call 911 and when to call the non-emergency number. On the 2nd of July, we will be activating a reporting button on the city's website and the Citrus Heights Police Department website for people to be able to report illegal firework activities to us. And that button will be in existence to about 6 a.m. on the 5th of July. We've been messaging out on all of our social media apps, Nextdoor, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and on our own website, all of these messages. Citizens can call the non-emergency number or beginning on the 2nd, use the 4th of fireworks at citrusheights.net to report illegal fireworks that they know about. Then beginning on the 4th of July, we will stop with the emails and go straight to our dispatch center, who will be dispatching officers out directly to locations where illegal fireworks are said to be reporting. We will have additional staff out on patrol on the 3rd and 4th of July, directed patrol units, DUI units, and we'll also increase our dispatcher staffing in order to accommodate for the increased calls for service. A arson investigator from Sac Metro Fire Department will be with us on the 3rd and the 4th of July. And Sacramento County Sheriff's Department EOD, or Explosive Ordnance and Devices, will be on standby on the 3rd and the 4th of July. Officers will respond out to locations that we can find using illegal fireworks, cite people directly on scene, seize any illegal fireworks that we can find, and There might be a couple cases where we'll have to cite people at a later date, but the goal is to cite people the nights of the 3rd and the 4th of July for illegal fireworks. Of course, before then, if we catch people before then, we'll cite them then too.
Question?
Yes, ma'am.
You also say, or physical arrest. What would possibly lead to a physical arrest?
Well, it is a misdemeanor being created in our presence. Let's say we go out to one scene and we make the citation and we come back and lo and behold, the same violator has brought another crate out from the garage. That's an offense that's likely to continue. We can make an arrest for it then.
Thank you.
There are a host of other reasons why we could arrest somebody on the scene that might come up in any given scenario. Any other questions?
Will we be targeting the repeat offenders?
Yes, we'll have a list of our
Figured you had that.
top offenders. Hopefully that'll be low-hanging fruit and we can go and get them off the board pretty quickly.
Or hopefully they've got the message.
Hopefully they've got the message. It is a pretty difficult crime to enforce, but we're trying our best. Any other questions?
Nope.
Thank you all very much. Enjoy your 4th of July. Have a safe and sane one.
Amen. Next item, please.
Next item is city manager items.
Good evening, Mayor Middleton, Vice Mayor Schaefer, council members, your city manager, Ashley Feeney, with a few updates for you. First off, I alluded to this earlier. I have some terrific news to share that we have our Administrative Services Director recruitment has concluded with a terrific hire in Susan Talwar. Very excited to have her join the team. This recruitment took a considerable amount of time, and sometimes good things come to those who wait, and that's how we're feeling about this particular situation. Bill Zanoni, our interim Administrative Services Director, was also involved in the recruitment and the interview process, and we were both very happy with the skill set that Susan brings to the table. Comes with terrific recommendations, has served for here in Citrus Heights at the Water District, actually for close to 9 years, and hit all the bases. Basically covers finance, human resources, as well as IT. Really excited to have her join the team, and looking forward to the days, months, and years to come with Susan. So Susan, if you'd like to say hello.
Hello and good evening. I come in passing, met some of you through the years that I've served Citrus Heights. I moved to California about 9 years ago and started serving here in the community at the Water District. And also throughout the years, then I also served through Rotary, Kiwanis, and Seroptimus and the Chamber. And I'm excited here today to further expand my public service to the city and the community. So thank you for the opportunity, and thank you, City Manager Feeney.
I'm glad to have you aboard.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
All right. So as we're very excited about Susan's arrival, we're also saying goodbye to a friend in Bill Zanoni, and a terrific colleague. I have had the pleasure of working with Bill over the last several months, and I found him to be an outstanding professional, a steady hand, and somebody that has really helped bring some leadership to our team when we needed it in that interim role. And the thing about Bill that I think that was illuminating is we had a goodbye yesterday where folks gathered in the break room momentarily and heaped some appreciations on Bill. And there was even some tears that were shed. So, I mean, Bill really left a considerable impact on the team, a positive impact on those that he worked with. really thank him for his service and helping us transition to Susan. And thank you for everything you've done for Citrus Heights, Bill. Really appreciate it. And I know I say that from my heart, and also certainly, as you know, many team members feel the same way. Thank you.
Can we just add comments to that?
Certainly.
I just want to say thank you so much, Bill, for being so faithful to Citrus Heights through a difficult period. Transition's never easy, and we've had a lot of it in the last year and a half, and even beyond. So you thought you retired and then came back, and you weren't retired at all. Had a lot of work ahead of you, but you really have become a fixture here. So your absence will be felt. And I just want you to know that I really am grateful for all that you've done. And I hope you are going to actually finally retire.
Great, and I think I've got a slide here, if we can transition to that. Okay, a couple of announcements. This was touched on earlier this evening, but it's still hot out there. And so we have the Cooling Center open at the Senior Center. It's open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., and that's been open this week, and it goes through Friday, June 24th. Of course, we coordinate with our local agency partners on opening the Cooling Center when the heat requires such. So going to be open at the Senior Center at 6300 Fountain Square. If I can go to the next slide, please. This was also spoken to earlier when council comments were going. We are hosting a prospective council workshop on Thursday, June 30th, here in the chambers at 6 p.m. Safe routes to school. It's always nice to see some black gold, especially these days. It's certainly black gold. It's not an understatement. But Mariposa Avenue Safe Routes to School is nearing completion. You can see this is pavement. It's been restriped. They just finished the striping this week. And then actually this weekend, you'll see the intersection at Mariposa and Madison stripe. So a lot of work went into that project. It's going to be terrific seeing kids who attend school there being able to utilize sidewalks and a bike lane now. So a terrific project. I know a lot of work's been done on that over a number of years, so kudos to our team for delivering that. Gateway sign. So this is at the western entry to the city on Greenback. There was a sign, as you can see on the left, that had been hit. It was in various states of disrepair. Our team just recently actually reconfigured the sign a little bit, reducing the size, so hopefully it'll avoid future damage from vehicles, and refaced it and used an approach that was not overly expensive, which is terrific. So appreciate the team, and this is kind of in line with our community image that's so important to our city council to make sure that we're addressing improvements like this. If we can go to the next slide, please. And I think probably right now, you're feeling like 6 o'clock start time is something you may look forward to in the future, and we're going to be starting the 6 o'clock start times on July 14th. And so we'll continue to put this out there through our various media channels and make sure the word gets out. And that concludes my comments.
Great. Okay. Next item, please.
Next item is items requested by council members, future agenda items. Number 17, the subject, provide direction on school safety committee discussion. So this item was discussed at the May 26, 2022 City Council meeting. Council discussed forming a committee to work with San Juan Unified School District to examine the security and safety of Citrus Heights area schools. Also, as part of that discussion, council discussed the mechanism for addressing this topic, whether it is through forming an ad hoc committee or charging the existing city council education 2x2 ad hoc committee to review the topic. Therefore, we are bringing this item back to the city council for discussion and to provide direction. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
I'll weigh in on that. You know, I would suggest that we have an existing education committee, and seems to me that it's within the purview of that committee to take up this topic and to move forward with it, rather than forming yet another committee to do what the education committee could very capably do.
I guess what would help me is understanding what the desired outcome is from either an ad hoc committee or, like you said, the 2x2 committee.
That's a good question.
So, sorry.
Go ahead.
And I think,
So, as a 2x2 committee member with the Education Committee, I have my concerns about about our relationship with the school district. And I wish it was better. I really do. And I do think that that having some expertise on our own and really looking at Citrus Heights schools specifically is important. It's important to our community that we are looking at this from a much more broad perspective than having two people who don't necessarily have the expertise to really make an assessment to say, yeah, that'll probably work, or no, that won't work. So I do think that a committee would be helpful, at least have to take a look at the schools, each and every one of them, and look and say, okay, what are the weaknesses? Where should we look at this? Then meet with the school districts and say, all right, this is what our assessment is. How do our assessments compare to yours? And really come at this from a much more centered approach from Citrus Heights, not just two council members meeting with two board members or two school board staff. I can't think of the last time that I had a 2x2 where there was actually school board members there. It was mostly me and another council member meeting with school board with the school district staff, including Kent Kern, the superintendent. So that's how I feel about it. I don't see how this could possibly how this could go wrong. I think this is a really reasonable approach.
Well, you make a good point, so I will retract my recommendation. So one of the questions, this brings up a lot of different questions. If we have a more comprehensive committee that could have PD, educators, council members, members of the public, or whomever on it, how big should the committee be? What are our expectations? I have a concern about us coming up with our own recommendations without input from the school district, because we could be completely polarized, and nothing would be solved as a result of that. Seems to me that if that they would be willing to have high-level representatives on such a committee, including a couple of board members. And your comment distresses me that this school district has not provided board members to the 2x2s, because that's the whole purpose of it. Elected officials from their board and elected officials from our board getting together for the better good of the schools in Citrus Heights. So I believe Mr. Daniels, Councilmember Daniels, is the one who brought this up initially, and so maybe I could ask him what he would hope to see as a result of forming such a committee. What kind of an outcome would he like to see?
Well, I think it just goes actually back to the original meeting and the recommendation. That was just to go into each school that's within the city of Citrus Heights and examine that, take a look at it, look at weaknesses, look at strengths, and see if we have any recommendations on our end as to what might make that better. And hopefully not to overcomplicate it. I think it's extremely important to have representation from the police department so that we have the law enforcement side of things. I think it's extremely important to have even at least one or two parents on there Definitely, I think it's very important to have somebody from the school district, and it would be wonderful, I think, to have somebody from the school district board. So it's just that. It's not to overcomplicate anything. We're not going to come in and tell the school district how to run the schools and stuff like that. But we're going to come in and say, and look at things and examine what the school district wants to do and what they may only be able to afford to do. And then is there something else that we want to do, we would like to do? And then again, if there is something else we'd like to do, look at how would we then, fund that? How would, could we get an agreement to get that done? Our responsibility is to our citizens, our residents, our businesses. And so I think that we need to examine that. And if nothing else comes out of it other than the school district is doing a wonderful job in securing schools in Citrus Heights, then that would be the best outcome. But I think that we have a duty to look at that as city leaders for the schools that are within our city.
Okay.
I kind of like to depend on the experts and at least start off with a staff report on this from our police department, have them take a look at it and advise us. My concern with the committees, and Melton Burrow said this, the committees take minutes and waste hours. And again, our PD is the one that's going to have to respond to an incident and also look at some of the other factors. And I don't even know if this has happened. So I'd like to at least hear that first before we go off studying the school district. And I truly believe, we need to protect our children. One of the issues is our children don't go to all Citrus Heights schools. They go outside of our city limits. And so what's being done out there to protect our children? Is the sheriff department responding the same way we are? I don't know these things. So I'd kind of like to rely on our professionals first to tell us and make recommendations of things, and maybe then we could start engaging the school district on some of these issues. But you're right, I serve on the education committee with you, and I know about safety and everything, but I'm not an expert on these issues with
Okay, good, quite well
schools.
taken. From all of you, do we know if the school district has already begun to address this issue?
Yes, the school district did authorize $10 million to school safety improvements at their last meeting. And I have been in discussions with Superintendent Kent Kern, talking about the desires of council to talk about school safety in Citrus Heights. And we've had some productive conversations, but we're looking to go and take that next step. Certainly from our police department, talking with the school safety personnel, absolutely, those conversations will and should happen. And that's something that certainly I know that Kent would be open to. And then similarly, he is polling his 2x2 board members to find out what their availability is, should there be a future 2x2 meeting. So just wanted to share that.
Okay, thank you.
So if I could just comment, there's one concern that I have, $10 million, they got 64 schools in their district. That's $156,000 per school. For some schools, that may be plenty. For other schools, it may fall grossly short of what is needed. And so that's the concern, and we are about a quarter of their, I think we got 13 schools, something like that in our city. And so that's a little bit of concern where, the more active communities are going to, I think that the squeaky wheel does get the grease in this case. And if there are parents that are a lot more vocal about demanding more done be at their local schools, and that's might not be, and highly unlikely that would be Citrus Heights schools, I think that we as leaders really need to take this seriously. And yeah, $10 million that's a great commitment, But with the number of schools that they have and the size of the campuses, I think that's a pretty low number. But that's just my opinion. And I don't have a ton of expertise in there, so.
Yeah, and we don't know what schools they've done already. So I'd kind of like to hear a report back and then maybe.
Absolutely.
To make the decision.
I agree with Councilmember Miller. Maybe having staff do an assessment, some kind of assessment on, what the issues are and what it takes. I did go and speak to the government class at Mesa Verde before the Uvalde incident happened, and I was stunned at how open that campus is. It's a very open campus where there's lots of opportunity to stroll on there anytime you want, so.
Yeah.
That's all I had.
Yeah. So do we have direction to give or not?
So is that enough direction?
Well, I think we'd like to, from a staff perspective, we'd like to know specific direction on this. If you're looking to have, I'm hearing a number of different things here. I'm hearing staff work with the school district and our police department to go and explore what they're doing, talk specifically about Citrus Heights schools, and have that dialogue around public safety, and then report back to the council. That's some direction I'm hearing. Then we had the staff report. We talked about the 2x2 subcommittee or an ad hoc committee. So I just want to clarify with the council. Are you looking for us to go back and have that staff-to-staff discussion and then come back and report back to the city council and then talk about a potential committee? Or are you looking to do something else tonight?
I think that's a good plan.
Yeah, I do too. I
Yeah.
think we step back a little bit before we form anything, and we've get information from the school district, see what they're doing, and talk to our police department, see if they've had any coordinating efforts with the school district regarding school safety, and then report back.
Are there any other comments from the council? Are we concluding on this item with that direction?
Yeah.
Brett, how does that sound to you? Oh, you're muted. Brett, you're muted.
Yeah, I think we're missing the boat a little bit, but, the council moves at the direction of 3 or more council members on this. And so I think that we're kind of sidestepping what we should be doing. I'm concerned about that kind of approach and what kind of time frame. I heard no kind of time frame attached to it. And so if that's the way we're going to go, I would certainly hope to hear a time frame and then go from there.
What do you think you need for time to get back to us?
Well, I control
Being of the
one.
essence.
I can say I control one side of that equation. And so I have been in discussions. Kent Kern and I have talked twice since that last meeting. So yeah, definitely he's been responsive. We have good dialogue around this. I do know that he spoke to having a fall community workshop. I also expressed that we have a desire to engage at some point throughout the summer on this. So let me talk to Kent, and then I can report back to the council on what a time frame is. I let him know that we'd like to have some dialogue this summer, and so he's aware of what our desire is on that.
That satisfies me.
So do you think you might be able to give us a report back by maybe the second council meeting in July?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
That work for you, Brett? You're on mute.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yep, that's fine.
And I just want to clarify, report back, certainly we'll be reporting back
Whatever
on the
progress you may have
process and
made.
progress we've made.
Yeah.
And
Not
you.
not looking for any finite conclusions, just where you are in the process.
Well, I know our police department is here to serve, and certainly kids are near and dear to the heart, so we'll definitely be engaging as quick as we can.
Thank you.
Great. All right.
That was the only agendized item, so unless there's any other items requested by council members or future agenda items.
Any other comments? Mayor Middleton, you still with us? Brett, any other items or any
No,
other
nothing.
comments?
Nope.
Jeannie, Steve? I think with that, we're adjourned.
You hold the record for the last.